This is my beautiful wife.
Sim, great seeing everyone again.
Yes. And guys, hey, this is a continuation of the podcast we had last week, right? It was the local Asians navigating the dating scene. So we have some familiar faces, but we also have a new face as well too. And so we'll get into that introduction here in a bit. But before I do, obviously just a couple of quick announcements and obviously updates, guys. Hey, if you haven't checked out our recent lives, guys, we've been doing a lot more lives, as promised. We've interviewed some great guests, local companies, local clubs, just local community people doing really good things in our community.
Yes.
Support Asian businesses, guys. Let's showcase Asian excellence this year as well, too.
Show the love.
And then, of course, right, let's bring to light some of the things that we're having issues in our Asian community that I know, is obviously affecting. And I want to touch on that. Some of the stats I'll bring to you guys during this show that we weren't able to bring on last show due to camera difficulties, right? So apologize for the camera issues, guys, but I think we got it resolved this time. Speaking of camera issues, guys, if you guys would love to donate to the show so that way we can improve our content, get more cameras, get more lighting, improve the studio for you guys, it's at His&Hers the Truth, and I believe it's # at His&Hers the Truth. Okay? But anyways, it'll be in our, obviously in the bottom here of the video descriptions, okay? And hey, guys, as always as well, too, subscribe to this channel, right? Smash that like button. Boom. If you guys would love to comment during the show, please send us any comments. We will be looking at the comment section, guys. Obviously,
positive or negative.
We don't have any mods yet, so please be kind and please obviously be mindful,
the
right?
Mod is right here.
Yes. But that being said, we love every comment or questions. If you guys have some, please shoot it through and we will stop to answer them. And then of course, please share, guys. Hey, share the truth, share this content, right? Help our Asian brothers and sisters out there, because like I said, there's going to be some stats I'm going to throw out during the show that I think we need to address. And lastly, we do have one guest. She is running a little bit late, but she will be joining us shortly, so we will pause when she comes in. But without further ado, let's introduce the guest again real quick. All right, and we'll start over here, right? Yen, over a familiar face, but if you want to just introduce to potentially new viewers, Yen, just your name, your age, your ethnicity, your dating status, and what do you do for work? Okay.
My name is Yen. I'm 31 years old right now, currently single. I'm Vietnamese. I'm not actively looking to date at the moment, but I am available. If somebody comes along, I'll just let fate decide. But right now, I'm not actively looking to date anybody or searching. And I currently work in healthcare as what you call a panel navigator, which is helping doctors do patient outreach for overdue care gaps. But probably going to be jobless soon because I'm looking to quit. So I'm trying to job hunt right now. If anybody got some suggestions.
So she's available for a job and a man.
Available for a job
and a man.
And a man. So guys, send in the. Do you want to post your Instagram as well too?
Do you want to say it?
Since we all know Instagram's the new dating app, guys, it really is. I
was like, I'll leave my Instagram out for now.
Okay,
there you go.
All right. And without any stardom or anything like that, that's also a big hurrah. No bells and whistles and stuff like that, PD.
Shoot, everybody knows me.
Okay. Well, hey, share the mic there with him, please, and then why don't you introduce yourself, PD? So once again, right, age. Right.
I'm 45. My name is Peter Molina.
There you go.
I'm Filipino, and I work construction.
Very nice.
And
very nice.
And what? So single.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Am I looking? Not really.
Okay. Not looking either. All right. We got two on the panel. That's not. But are you available?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, we'll get into that in a little bit because I have to question a little bit. If you're not looking, how are you going to be available as a guy? All right, well,
it's interesting.
Okay, we're gonna get into that later, right, guys?
Situationships.
It's hard to date me.
All right, well, we'll get into that in a little bit because that's gonna be a tricky one. All right, how about yourself, Liz?
My name's Liz. I'm 34, Chinese Filipino. I am not looking. I'm happily taken. That was it, right?
That's it. Yeah. Honey, you want to introduce yourself this time too? No.
Well, my name is Sim, and I'm happily married to Tuan. We showcase together.
She puts on a good face. Yes. So we like to
Yeah.
have fun on this channel, guys. Obviously, we try to keep it light, but
Yeah.
our topics, of course, are very serious because I think we left off last week's show, right?
Yeah.
In terms of dating and specifically cheating between a man and a woman. And the question was, as we were going around here, right? We're still waiting for Jasmine, but the question was, is it different when it comes to cheating for men and women? And since Jasmine isn't here, I'm going to continue on and see what my wife has to say about this topic, because I think a lot of viewers would like my wife's take on this matter. So, honey, is cheating the same for men and women?
No.
Okay, why do you think it's different?
Well, for a man, if you're cheating, to me, I think a man would probably have to use more of his finance. For a woman, if we're cheating, we don't really have to use much of our finance, but more emotional, more like, companion type shit, But for a man, it's more like you use your finance, maybe more sexual than us women. A lot of us women, when we, when you guys think if we're cheating, maybe
So you're saying we cheat sexually then?
more sexually than us, I think.
So you mean like if we actually went and had sex with someone else, that would be more cheating for us
Yeah.
versus you guys, versus women,
Well,
versus women cheating sexually.
Well, no, I mean, if a woman's cheating sexually, then yeah, that's still cheating. But to
So
me,
what's,
I don't
what's
think,
worse then? Because I'm going to give everyone a chance to answer this question. I was going to get to that point after the whole difference, right? So what's worse, a man cheating sexually or a woman cheating sexually?
Gosh, if it's in my thing, it's almost both, but
It's the
but
same?
similar. Yeah, because I
Okay.
mean,
All right, so then let's go back this way, and I want to get to Pete's take on both questions, but I'll have Liz answer first. Liz, what do you think is worse, if a man cheats sexually, and we're talking just physically here, guys, okay? A man cheats sexually or a woman cheats sexually?
I think if it's worse if a woman cheats physically, like sexually, because then she's losing her values. Whereas with a man, I mean, if the man is of high value, everyone wants to be with him. So to answer your question, for me, it's worse if a woman is intimate physically with another man.
Okay. So, Pete, there's two questions because I want you to answer the question from last week, which originally was, is it the same? Do men and women cheat the same, or do they cheat differently?
They treat the same.
Yeah, why don't you talk?
We're in a modern time
Why don't
nowadays.
you talking to the mic, bud, and tell what you think.
We're in a modern time nowadays. It's even playing field. Women want to be treated like men. Men want to be treated like men. Or actually, now they want to be treated like sensitive type. So it's even. A lot of girls, when they cheat on their guy and they're like, why'd you sleep with that guy? Oh, I felt sorry for him. When they get pregnant or whatnot, what's your main reason why you got pregnant or slept with that guy?
So
I'm sorry.
So
Or I
what?
felt bad for him.
Let me ask you this then: if you think it's the same, what value is the man cheating on to his, significant other, his wife, girlfriend, whatever, the girl he's seeing, when he cheats physically with another person? What value is it?
What do you mean? Like,
Well, what value is he giving up? Like, when we think cheating, right? You're giving up something. You're taking something away that you promise the other person.
okay, in old times when we were younger, well, when I was younger, yeah, you're taking away from the trust and everything.
Trust
in
to
the
what
relationship.
though?
Well, the trust. Well, in a relationship, everything's built off trust. You have to trust. You're not marrying somebody just to marry them. You're marrying your best friend, your confidant, your right-hand person.
I get the trust factor, and I
But-
apologize because we need to clarify, right? Because there's a trust because of what, right? Like, for example, I'm gonna give you $2 for this drink.
Yeah.
I trust that you're gonna give me $2 and you give me this drink. So what is the agreement that we are agreeing on there that the trust was built on? Because the trust is just
Yeah.
the ideology, but what is it we're actually giving to one another?
It's the buildup. So you're dating. Well, back in the day, they considered courting to dating to being in an actual relationship. You building that trust. Trust is never given. If you give your trust away, then that's your mistake. But when it comes down to it,
We're
you're building a trust upon
We're
someone.
still not answering the question, though. What am I giving to you, and what are you giving to me that we're trusting each other to give to each other at the end? I get it. Like, we have this trust.
That is very interesting. It's like I don't really know how to explain that.
Okay, we'll get back to
Because-
that then. Okay, then okay, if we'll get back to that then. How about the second question, which is, how if men cheat sexually and women cheat sexually, which one is worse?
There isn't anymore.
So it's the same.
It's the same.
Okay. Okay. Any reasons why or clarifications, or you think it's just the same?
The only bad thing is the hit in the long run. If a girl gets pregnant, she's got to deal with the child for 25 years. If a guy gets hit with, she cheats on him, and they don't got no kid, he can go walk away. That's the difference.
So if
he does get knocked up, that guy's locked in for 25 years.
Which guy is locked in? The
guy
guy
that knocked her up.
So if a guy goes cheat, knocks up this other girl, right? He's going to be locked in for
25 years.
25 years.
Well, locked in a relationship or with the child.
Alimony.
Yeah, exactly.
In the Western society.
Exactly.
You're talking about the Western context, right?
Yes.
Because then obviously some countries
They
that's
don't.
not. But I get it. I agree. In this Western context, yes. Okay. All right. But you still think it's the same.
Yeah, same as the woman. The woman, if she cheats and she has a relationship, how are you going to explain your kid popped the kid?
Okay.
Yeah, she's going to lose it all.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to sway anybody's decision. So we'll get to Yen. Yen, so obviously you answered that question last week already, right? But in terms of this week's continuation of that question, right? So last week's question was, is men cheating and women cheating the same? So today's question is, if men cheat sexually, right? If it's physical, someone has sex with another person, or if the woman cheats sexually, physically with another person, which one is worse, the men cheating sexually or the woman cheating sexually?
I kind of agree with Pete. I don't subscribe on the ideologies of if a woman cheats, her value goes down. It feels a little bit sexist to me, just my opinion. Okay. It's like, biologically, our sex, we are born different. We're female, biologically you're male, but if we're cheating, the act of having sex, I feel like it is equally the same for either a man or a woman, whether they cheat sexually or not. I feel like it's just, you both cheated sexually. It's like we're on the same playing field. I don't see it as like, if a man cheats sexually, it's like a little less worse than if a woman cheats sexually. That's just how I see it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's like Pete said, it's just the only thing is that if a woman gets knocked up, you are stuck with the kid. The woman has to bear the child for like 9 months.
Let me ask you guys this then. We'll go around and give everyone a chance, but we'll spin it off here. Do you think it's easy for men to get sex?
Is it easy for men to have sex?
Yeah. Do you think it's easy for us to acquire sex?
Like to acquire somebody to have sex with?
Yeah. And not in the Prawn Star, pay for it, get a hooker.
Not
way.
in the pay for context.
I'm talking about just the traditional context of attracting a woman to have sex with her.
I feel like it might be easier for a woman to get a guy to have sex.
How much? What would you think that difference would be from a man getting it versus a woman getting it?
Ooh. Off the top of my head, maybe. Oh, I can't put a number to it. Maybe like 3 out of 4 guys will possibly say yes. If a woman asks, like 4 guys.
Yeah.
So if a woman asks 4 guys to have sex with her, you're trying to tell me only 3 out of 4 dudes would say yes? Or you're talking about if 3 out of 4 guys tried to get sex from a woman, only 3 out of 4 guys would get sex from them?
If a woman asked, maybe like 4 guys. I feel like.
Yeah, if a man just went out, if a man went out there and be like, hey, just cold approach, right? Hit every woman that he saw on the streets, hit every woman that he saw on Instagram, right? And we're talking about just your average Joe guy, right? 5'8", 5'6" when it comes to our Asian brothers, right? 40,000. Well, our Asian brothers make a little bit more money, so we're maybe in the $60,000 to $70,000 range versus maybe white Americans, right? Maybe just a little bit more, right? What do you think the Asian brothers' chances are? If he hit up 10 women, how many women do you think would actually want to have sex with him?
This is just a random guess. I can't even
sure,
put a number
no,
to it.
just go ahead and guess.
Maybe like 3 or 4.
Out of the 10.
Maybe.
So 30 to 40% of women.
If a guy just came up randomly like,
Yeah.
hey, you want to have sex with me? It's just like, it's kind of weird.
Okay.
From a woman's standpoint, it's like, ew, no.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Pete this question too, because you guys seem to kind of agree on the whole cheating
Similar.
thing. Like women and men cheat the same, and and it's very similar, right? So I'll elaborate. I'll keep giving you one chance, but yes, no. I want because you guys answered very similar. So I wanted to say, so what do you think, Pete? Is it easier for men to get sex or women to get sex?
Women.
And then what's that
A
difference?
lot of guys, there's the Asian fever thing. No pointing fingers.
So give me a percentage. So if our Asian brother 20,
No, 80-20.
80.
The women could get it easier than a man.
but you still think an Asian brother would have a 20% chance of getting a chick?
They're gonna be throwing down, like, depending on if they worked it slowly or depending on if they're working it fast. Just like you said, it's what they throw down, like pocketbook, car, house, stuff like that. It's what they see.
But you think an average dude that only
Average
makes
dude,
50, 60,000 could be throwing it down like that?
no, but he's gonna probably throw a lot of game down. He's,
Do you think the average dude has game?
nowadays it'd be surprisingly what people get away with. That was one of my things I used to do when everybody go out to the club try to get laid. I'd be going out just to watch it. I'm more of a person that just likes to watch people do stuff. And it'd be very interesting how guys would walk off with girls. I'm like, oh, wow. That guy walked off with that girl.
Which guy? Just like a
an
guy that you
average,
didn't think was...
Yeah, would never thought he would be able to pull it off.
What was wrong with him?
Oh, I don't know. Just...
Height?
No, it's
looks?
the cheesy pickup line. It doesn't matter height.
Was he good looking?
I don't know.
Was he decent?
I mean, pause. I'm not trying to get you to,
Well,
to be gay and freaking
The truth of the matter is if you go to the clubs, there's a reason why it's dark.
Well, how about we look at this pragmatically then? At least let's be honest and realize, was the guy good looking?
I don't know. I
Was he-
always paid attention to the conversation.
Was he tall?
Uh,
Was he dressed nice? Did he
they
have
they
his
always dress sites.
is
too,
his
of
teeth
course.
nice? Was his hair on point? Did he smell good?
Yeah, I wasn't that close.
Okay.
But when you look at a person from far away,
What ethnicity was he?
Asian.
Okay.
That's back in the day, so it's like Asian, bald, probably decked out with his whole paycheck. You
Okay,
know?
so he presented himself
Yes.
in a certain way. Got it.
Exactly.
Dressed nice.
Yeah.
Had jewelry, watches.
The conversation though is just like, wow, he just came up to the girl, say she's beautiful or something like that, and just kept on running with it, and I'll just be like,
Did he show confidence though?
that's,
Stood up
that's-
tall, eye
that's-
contact.
That's the interesting thing. A lot of girls, when I talked to a lot of them, because like I said, I was hard to date back then. It's because I was always in everybody's scene. A lot of girls, number one thing that they went for with a guy was he exuded confidence. So it was very interesting. So it was great to watch. It's like, oh well, he pushed his confidence. I was like, all right, that works.
Okay. How many guys do you think has confidence like that?
The thing is this: there's confidence and then there's bullshit. There's a lot of guys that'll exude confidence because they have nothing to lose, so they're throwing out as much bullshit as they can.
Do you think a majority of women can
No,
filter bullshit?
no.
Okay. So once again, how many guys do you think have that type of confidence? Even confidence enough that might be bullshit, but at least comes off as confidence. How many guys do you think will have that?
30%.
30%? Okay. All right, I'm going to get the rest of your take before I break down some stats here. Liz, what do you think?
In regards to,
Is it easier for men or women to get sex? Right? Which one is it easier or harder? And how much? Like, what is the difference?
so it's definitely easier for women to get sex.
How much easier you think compared to men?
I mean, if I were to put a percentage, it would probably be between 80 to 90. So let's just say 85%.
So 85% of women could get sex if they wanted to, pretty much any time. How about men? What's the percentage of men that you think that could pull that off?
I kind of want to say 10 to 15, but I have a feeling that it's lower
Yeah.
than that. I want to, like, a part of me wants to say 10 to 15, but when I'm thinking about it, just like statistic wise, I feel like it's less than 5%.
Okay.
Change my stats to hers.
Okay.
Way better, because I was thinking that you were taking
Yeah.
off of 100. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's 100, and men got 20, women got 80.
No,
but
no.
You're
This
just going for stats on
Yeah.
how good they can get.
this is on an
85,
individual gender basis,
yeah.
right? So
85,
like,
50,
so you think 85% of women, okay, got it,
85, 70.
and then 5% of men could get sex kind of
I'd give
whenever
it
they want
50,
to.
just to be nice.
And then I'm leaving 10% kind of in the gray area because, you know, there's the people that want to identify in the middle. So
Got it. Fair enough. We're just talking about men and women on this relationship, guys. We're not getting into that whole conversation unless someone wants my opinion on it. I have no problem. But honey, what do you think? What do you think is who's easier to get sex, and what is the difference you think?
Definitely women.
Okay, and what do you think the difference, and why?
Because I mean, for women, I mean, if you carry yourself well, whatever else, depending, I mean, hey, men aren't gonna turn away free sex most of the time.
Yep.
So 100% that,
Okay.
you know. So definitely would definitely be, and then for men to get sex, I would say less than 2%.
Less than 2% that could pull off women.
Yeah,
If they
because
just-
you gotta, you know, because it's harder. I mean, women, we look for hey, what do you make, or your height, you're this, you're that. We're more pickier, okay. But for us women, if we're like, hey, I mean, shoot, raise hand. I mean, on the panel, I bet everybody, you know, there's always gonna be someone here. Hey, I'm gonna give free sex. You don't think we're gonna have a comment right now? Boom. I'm telling you, it's easier for us, you know, women to be like, hey, I want sex right now. Boom, drag this guy. Boom, he'll want it.
Yep.
You know, but for men, hey, you better show your status. You better have some wallet. You better look good, or, you know, something to qualify to even get sex. You got to prove yourself. That's me. So I'm saying less than 2%.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw some stats up, and obviously Yen had to take a break, but I'll repeat the stats for her when she gets back. So these are the stats that we know. Okay, so right now it's getting closer. They say the stat is 30%, but I'll be honest with you guys, it's probably closer. It's less than that. It's probably, I'm sorry, it's more than that. That have not had sex in the last year or are virgins, right? So they're saying right now, there was a recent study, I think it was in 2021 or 2022, where only 30% of men in the last year have had sex or are virgins, okay? I think it's personally higher. And you know why I think it's higher, guys? Because this stat gets thrown out in the RP community a lot because, one, 50% of people are still in marriages. And this is from kind of like the Gen X, kind of the old school generation being still married, okay? Yeah. So even though these marriages suck balls, we know it, right? There's a lot of sexless marriages out there, right? You're probably still having sex at least once in that year, right? Now, if you said maybe once every 2 months, once every 3 months, they're probably like, no, I haven't had it in that time frame, right? But once in a year, maybe you were able to squeeze it out once a year, right? So if you take the whole marriage thing out of the equation and you're just talking about single dudes, right, who are available, that are out in the dating market, because this is who we're touching, right? I get it, guys. I'm married, but let's be honest. The married people aren't really involved in this whole dating market conversation, right? We're not out there like that. Unless some of you guys are, no hate, right?
Yep.
But the point is the remainder of the guys out there, I would say, if you take all the married men out of the equation, I think the guys who are, you know, either in a dating relationship or still trying to date, I would probably say it's probably closer to 50 or 60% of men that haven't had sex in the last year, right?
Wow.
Right? And the reason why I think this stat is correct is because women only swipe the top 5% of men in dating apps.
See?
Top 5%, right? And these are all the same men that are blue checks. Okay, hey, Yen, you're back. So I wanted to give a couple stats before I ask my next question, right? So we have a recent study that showed 30% of men are currently virgins or haven't had sex in the last year. I argue it's actually even higher than that because if you take out the married men, right? If you take out the factor of the married men, you're probably, and maybe men who are maybe in, you know, dating or whatever, like in a relationship, right? But if you're talking about just single available men that are in the dating market trying to find a significant other, and then of course your motivation is sex, I guarantee you that percentage is higher, okay? 2, 5% of men on dating apps are swiped on, right? So that means 95% of men are invisible to women, right? Okay, we have that. The reason for that, guys, is social media, Instagram, right? All those things, right? Women, I don't blame them. Women have access to all the men in the world now, right? Some blue check, Drake, right? Some celebrity athlete, right? Can just hit you up on the DMs, slide in your DMs, blue check mark, bam, 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 right?
Yeah.
Why are you going to look at all the rest of the men when all you have is all these top guys potentially hitting you up, right? So that's another one. Historically, 40% or less of men have actually passed their DNA on to the next generation. So that means only 40% of men have actually bore children. Yep, 40% or less have bore children with women. So I would argue, and I think your guys' stats are way, let's just say, nice. I think honestly, close to 100% of women could get sex if they wanted to at any moment in time. If you guys go out there right now and be like, "Hey, someone have sex with me," someone's coming to knock it. I know I will be if it was like no strings attached. And I can say that honestly in front of my wife. If there was no strings attached and someone said, "Hey, let's go have sex," I'm gonna take it right now. Okay, right? But guys, I would even the top. They did a study recently about this too. Even the top percentage of guys, the top like 2%, 1% of guys, only score 10% of the time. So that means out of every 10 girls, even the top percentage of dudes get only 10% hits, right? And those are the top guys, okay? Right? So it's really the top 5%, top 2% of men that women are even looking at. And whether they give those guys sex or not is already a lower score.
Yep.
Okay? So my argument, because everyone, and some of you guys, had different viewpoints, but my argument is because it's way harder for men to get sex than women. It's not the same. It cannot be the same because we have to do so much more to get it versus women. Okay? So when a woman cheats sexually, it's like the worst crime possible, right? Because she can get it whenever she wants. So that means if she cheated on your ass, that means she doesn't want you no more. She found somebody better, right? It's the hypergamous nature that we always talk about. She found someone better. You don't stack up to her level, whatever she thinks that level is. And we'll get into that with another question, right? But she found someone better. Whereas men, shoot, I could be dating someone, I could be married, dating someone to the highest level, and I would still sleep with someone. I could be dating a 10, and I would still go sleep with a 3. That's just how a man is.
We see a lot of stars already doing that right now. They marry
It is
supermodels and they're still cheating. They marry runway supermodels.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Okay.
That happens.
So now that you guys know that, do you guys think it's the same still, or do you guys change your answers? And I'll
I
go
didn't
back
change
this
my
way.
answer, honey.
You still think? No, I'm saying you still think it's the same, or you said it was different,
No, I
right?
already said it was different.
Okay, and Liz says different, right?
Yeah. I didn't say it was
What about yourself, Pete? You said originally it was the same.
I didn't
You
say
still
the
think it's the
I
same?
said
Still stick with it.
Why? Why do you think it's the same then?
Well, I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, give a good reason. I mean, I'd love to hear it.
You look at it, men, like you said, the girls will look at the guy's stats. Money, house, career, everything. Girls, they have the time. That's all. Like I told this to my ex one day. It was fun too. Don't get me wrong, she's a great girl, and she's moved on with her life, and it's great. But the thing that she asked me one day, she's all, "Pete, you got to step up your game to keep me around." I'm like, "What do you mean?" So I asked her. I said, "What do you mean where I got to step up my game?" She's like, "If I tell you it doesn't mean like it's coming from you directly." And she told me, she's like, if we got together and got married, I know I'd be financially good. You'll make sure no one would hurt me. You wouldn't hurt me. And you'd always make sure I was good. And I was like, okay. So then we broke up at the time. So she started looking at other people. And I started thinking to myself, she's like, what do you bring to the table? And the only thing she told me is she's cute.
Okay.
So the girls have time. Versus the men that we don't look at our age or looks. We just build on our career.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just gave me all those reasons, but you still think it's the same.
I think it's the same because both of you guys are working on different paths at different speeds.
Okay, so let me.
She doesn't get married at a certain time.
Let me let me ask you this then. Okay, let's say you and I both grow in the same neighborhood, same hood, right? I busted my ass, worked 2-3 jobs, 20 hours a day, right? Make it out of the mud finally, right? Get a house, become a millionaire.
Yeah.
Right? You turn 18, your mom and dad, you came from a well-to-do family or someone died, rich in family, gave you $3 million.
Yeah.
You think it's the same?
For us to, yes. They will literally
both those two situations are the same.
They will look
no,
at,
I'm saying for...
Oh, no. If you're looking at the situation, no. But if you're looking at the money and how they're going to look at us, they're going to look at us the same.
No, I'm just saying between you and I. Between you and I. We're in the same situation. Like, you deserve what I deserve because I had to bust my ass and make that $3 million, where you were just given your $3 million.
Yeah.
It's not the same,
No,
right?
it's not the same. But
Right.
that's also a different situation.
I disagree. A woman is handed her $3 million when she turns 18.
She's handed her
Correct.
$300.
A man has to bust his ass to make that $3 million.
Yeah.
And most men don't even make that $3 million.
No.
So how could it be the same?
What, for cheating?
Yes. Because a man can only get sexual access if he got that $3 million.
Exactly. But the girl, she has access right off the bat. She can do whatever she wants. But nowadays, if you bust your ass, it's like what do you call it? A resume. The girls look at your resume. That dating nowadays is just a resume, telling them what you bring to the table.
No, I get what the girl is looking for.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say someone that got their value for free, first, pretty much just existing.
It sucks, but the world's not fair.
Okay. So you're saying that someone that got their value for free, right, cheated that value because they didn't earn that value, right? You think, and it's way easier for them to get that value as well too, right? We just all agreed it, right? We all agreed that every women can get sex whenever they want to, right? So not only do they earn their access to that sex, but they can give it or take it whenever they want to.
Yes.
You think it's the same for them versus a man who had to build himself up to even get access to that value?
It sucks, but the thing is this: after dating a couple times and learning all this stuff, I'm pretty much a realist. Where it comes down to it, yeah, every guy out there would love a virgin. To be like the girl's sole person they lost their virginity to. They're everything. But that's not how the life is nowadays. Women are now on an equal playing field. They want equal rights. Everything's equal. So she came to the game with the $3 million, and you and I busted our ass for $3 million. But when it comes down to it, when everybody looks at it.
So then let me ask you this question then, because you said, hey, you told your girlfriend, what do you bring to the table? And she just brought cuteness. Yeah. If you're a realistic person, wouldn't have that been enough for you then?
No, to bust my ass to go after her over and over again. She pretty much wanted somebody else. So I was like, that's where I brought to myself what my value brought to the table.
So it's not the same then.
Well, no,
because you would have stayed with her. You would have stayed with her then if it was the same.
No, it's a opening of the eyes. You need to know what your value is. So but we might have came there with both $3 million, but if you think you're only worth, $2,900,000, blah blah blah, to $1 less, and she still thinks she's at $3 million. If you're not at an even playing field,
but you just told me that it's the same. You just told me that a woman who just gets it for free, you live in a realistic world now. You understand that everyone, a woman can be a man now, and a man wants to do this now. You're saying it's the same now. So my point is, why did you leave her then, or why did you break up with her? So why did you think she broke up with you then, if you think it's the same?
We wanted different things. I'm fine with that. I'm happy for like all my exes. They did their thing. Is that a point where you get into it and you're like, this is not going to really work? So it was better to exit, nicely than exit in rage.
But why wouldn't it work?
You just, I don't know.
Would it be back to our conversation earlier of someone's not bringing what they trusted to this other person? Someone's not bringing what their value was supposed to be that we trusted each other for. I'm bringing this value. You're bringing this value. I trust that each of us are going to bring that value to the table. what is that value again then?
But then we're looking at old time versus now. If we're looking at old times,
Do you think times have changed that much? Do
Yes.
you think men have changed that much?
no. Men have not changed that much in those years.
So,
But women have.
but men is still part of that equation.
Yes, we are part of that equation, but and when it comes down to it, they're always trying to replace us. So it's like it is what it is. I'm one of those people that's like it is what it is. They're gonna be good with it, or you're not.
No, I get that. I get the whole point that if they're changed and they don't want the same values, that's fine. But
Yeah.
you're still saying that the values are the same.
When it comes down to cheating, it's like nowadays, yes, it comes down to it, the girl and the guy. You know, they're gonna think about doing it. They're gonna do it. There are relationships out there where both people cheat, but they still stay together. There's things like that all the time.
Let me flip the script on you. Do you think your girl would
no
you
girl.
have gone to your girl, right, and had this conversation? Would you have gone to your girl and be like, "Hey, you know what? You're not bringing the finance to me. I don't see you being very ambitious, trying to make more money, you know?" Do you think you would have left her, you would have ever had that conversation with her?
We did when we were on our way out. But on reality, love is kind of blind, and I probably didn't. I probably wouldn't have. But originally, it's like the more I go through relationships and figure out stuff, yeah, I probably would have gotten to that relationship point where I'm like, what do you actually bring to the table?
So was that a value that you were really looking for in that relationship?
What do you mean, like having her there?
No, like her being ambitious, making money, bringing finance to the table.
If you advertised it, yes.
So
if you were wanted to be the stay-at-home mom, then we agreed on it. Then yes, for that.
But she initially never expressed that.
No.
So she said that she was going to bring finance and ambition to the table to this relationship.
It's more of a looking at it. It's like, you know, you see a girl, she's taking care of her stuff. She's got the degrees and whatnot. You know, we're Asian, so going to
Do you think
college and
women
whatnot.
really share their resources with you, though?
I come from an old school, so my mom and dad both worked, and they both shared their resources together. But this is, if you're looking at now, no.
Do you think, though? Well, let me ask you this, because what is the relationship between your mom and dad? Because I don't know.
Well, my dad passed away, but when my mom first came here to the United States, she had 3 quarters. So 3 people that were trying to get to be married to my mom. She actually said, which one are you okay with? One of her main standards to marry someone was, are you okay if I bring my family here?
Okay.
One of them was like, oh, well, we could go visit them. The other one was like, oh, we could send money back. My father said, I don't care. You do. If you want to bring him here, we'll bring him here.
But he asked her to work alongside with him.
No, actually, originally he wanted her to stay at home, be a stay-at-home wife. But eventually she was like, I have a nurse's degree. I'm going to do what I want. My mom was a hardhead, but in the long run, they made it work. So my growing up, I watched.
Who wore the pants in the household?
The funny thing is, we all thought it was my mom. No, it was my dad. I found out in the long run. It was really interesting. My mom's outspoken, boss. When she quit her job, she quit her job.
Did they make the same amount of money, you think?
I think my dad. Actually, they roughly made close to the same amount. My dad was working a crap load of overtime at Boeing, and my mom was a nurse. And she's the kind of person that never puts her eggs in one basket. So she literally was on call of 3 different hospitals. One day, one nurse is like, well, gave her attitude, and she's like, okay, I'm out. If you don't want me here today, I'm out. It's like, well, we need you. She went to the nurse.
How many kids you guys have? How many siblings? Just you? Or?
Me and my sister. My sister. And then she adopted 2 others.
Okay. Did your mom ever remarry or no?
No.
Okay. Got it. So you grew up in this very traditional household where your mom and your dad both worked to try to support the family. Did they have you before they worked, or were they both
working
before they had you kids?
Yes. My mom came here from the Philippines, went straight to nursing. My dad, fisherman, and then Boeing.
Okay.
And when they had me or my sister, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and then later on, my grandparents came, and she went back to work.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a very tough question because I need to know the answer to this question really too. Was your mom and dad very intimate with each other?
I never even want to know about that. But
Hey,
I don't know how to explain this.
Did you ever see them holding
Holding
hands?
hands.
Did you ever see them hug, kiss each other? Did you ever see them doing any lovey-dovey thing in front of each other?
We were never like that. But when it came down to it, yes, he hugged her and kissed her. But we were never that affectionate. We kind of look at that just wrong. But yeah, my dad loved my mom, and my mom loved my dad. It is very interesting. But when it came down to it, they were each other's partners and solid up. It's like that's what a relationship I always looked at. So just like us looking at our parents, we look at that as a goal. So when I wanted to date, I would look at, my mom and my dad, how they were dating and how they moved up together. So you look at, that's how I looked at it. So I wanted to see that. My parents, my mom and my dad, they look like they're on equal footing. Look like they were on equal footing. My mom was a boss when she worked in nursing. My dad.
Who made the final family decisions, though?
My dad.
Okay.
So he was the typical role model, male in the house, because, back in the day, women were supposed to stay at home, take care of the house. Men were supposed to, go out. That's in, animals, humans, you name it. That's what it's done. But when it comes down to it, the man, when I say it as somebody they trust, they mean somebody to back them up, to support them. So like men aren't allowed to cry. That's, you and I, when we were younger, we don't show emotion. We don't do this. We don't do that. But men are different now. They show emotion. They don't even know if they're men. But, that's the thing. A woman would always support them. Like, okay, a meal. They were stressed out.
So once again,
when they're weak.
So once again, let's get back to how this whole conversation started, right? So your girlfriend or ex-girlfriend broke up with you because she wanted you to do more, right? And when
emotional.
Okay, and so were you willing to do more for her?
Yeah, but I didn't really understand it. I didn't. The way I was raised, I didn't really see it. So after getting out of that relationship, I actually noticed it. I was like, okay, I wasn't that emotionally there.
How young were your parents when they got married?
I don't know. I don't even know my mom's age.
Okay, and how old are you now?
I'm 45.
And how old was your ex-girlfriend?
44? Well, yeah, 44. But another reason why we probably broke up is during the time we were dating, my dad passed away. So I went into emotional roller coaster. I went Asian male. I went fucking stupid.
Did you guys ever think about maybe having kids or no? Was that ever part of a conversation?
No. I didn't actually have a conversation about having kids. Like I said, I was
Did
emotionally
Did she ever express that?
She actually has a kid.
Because she was a single mom.
She is now. But it's not my kid. Not my kid.
But back then she was.
No. Yeah, back then she didn't have no kids. She wanted kids.
So she had a kid with this new man.
Yep.
Okay, so she did want to have kids then. Was that maybe something that was part of the conversation as well too?
Nope. We never had a conversation about kids. Don't get me wrong. I would have loved to have children back in the day, but I'm old, so I'm not looking at kids now.
You're old. 41.
45.
45.
That's not old.
You think men have a timeline on having
we
kids?
don't. That's the thing. That's what I say. We don't have a time limit. Like women got a time
Aren't
limit.
you kind of contradicting
men.
yourself a little bit then? If
What
you're
do you
saying
mean?
you're old?
Well, for me, I look at it like, do I want to? Can I do the things I want to do with my child when I get older? It's like right now I work a hard job. My body's rough. So give and take, I'm stronger than most people. But when it comes down to it, when I get home, I'm sleepy.
Your ex-girlfriend, is she a stay-at-home mom now?
I don't know. I don't really talk to her that much, but she has her family helping her, I think.
Okay. I find it very interesting because you say in one hand that men have not changed, right? Which I totally agree with you. Men have not changed. But on the other hand, you say women have changed a lot. And I would say I think women have been fooled to change a lot. I think they have been lied to change a lot. But I think they're natural. Their actions speak louder than their words is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I think women have, if given the choice, I think women would prefer to be stay-at-home moms and prefer to be married and have kids and have a man taking care of them.
I'm not going to argue with that. That's true.
Right.
They might, and it was interesting before coming on this. I actually was listening to a lot of podcasts left and right about that. And you're right. A lot of women want to have children, want to stay at home, want to be the support unit.
Yeah.
But
so
they've been lied to.
So then going back to it then, if your girl expressed to you, hey, I want you to step up, do more, I personally think that was a call to you to be like, hey, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want you to take care of me, have kids, so that way I can just stay at home and raise our kids. What was your decision why not to do that?
To go after her?
Well, yeah, just stick around and just and do what she asked of you.
Yeah. Like I said, I wanted somebody in the support. I want somebody like a partner. I don't need a support. I want somebody like shoulder to shoulder with me. I don't want support.
Do you think
I can support myself? But I would like a partner, like somebody next to me. If I'm going to go into something, it'd be nice, but I don't need it. It's like an option, like in a car, leather seats in a car. You know, it's great to have it, but I don't need it.
So you don't want someone that's just there to give you emotional support? Because I need to be like very specific of what support you're asking for. Because if you're saying partner, are you saying like you want someone there like literally working alongside you, making money with you, right? Washing the dishes, cleaning the house. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't want a woman just to sit there and give you emotional support?
No.
Okay. Do you think men and women's roles in that regard is the same?
No. The thing is like what I've seen with my parents, I see it's there. I know it's there out there. That's why it's like, because a lot of people don't see that.
Do you think maybe the only reason why they were doing that because they had you and your sister, and then they had to obviously make their purpose to take care of you guys and obviously give you guys the best life possible? And ultimately, that wasn't really the ideal situation for their relationship, but they did it for this higher purpose?
Yes and no. Yes, they wanted to give us a better life. That's why my mom came here to the United States. My dad's old school. He wanted to be the stay-at-home dad or the stay-at-home wife, and him make the money. But my mom was a boss. She came to this place to drive her own line, to make her own path. Yes, she got a husband and she had children. Don't get me wrong, she loves all of us. But when it comes down to it, she did it. And when she came in, she even told me the stories.
Who do you respect more, your mom or your dad?
I'm a mama's boy.
Mom's boy.
I love my dad. I do love my dad. You know, God bless his soul, but God rest his soul. But I'm a mama's boy.
Got it. So do you plan to have kids in the future?
Can't have kids.
So you've already cut that off.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that.
We'll get back there.
I'm gonna get thrown underneath the bus for that.
Thanks for opening. Okay, so back to the original question, Yen.
Here you go, Yen.
Thanks for the back to the original question is, now that I've told you guys the stats, right, of how hard it is for men to get sex and how easy it is for women to get sex, right, and how this is where I'm going to touch on to our Asian brothers, right, because our Asian brothers are the least swiped on dating apps. This is one of the things, the stats I told you guys about before that we started the show, right, that I really want to bring into light. Our Asian community needs to talk about this, right, is a few stats. One, Asian men are the least swiped on dating apps, right? Asian men's self-deletion rate has quadrupled in the last 3 or 4 years. It went from like 6%, 7% self-deletion. Now we're like at 25%. Yeah. We're the highest ethnicity after, I believe, of course, Caucasians, because they make up the majority of the population. But just slightly lower than Native Americans or American Indians, right? A few more stats. Hey, I'm not going to say this is cause and effect, but there's got to be some goddamn correlation on this, okay? And I'm very, very passionate about this because if I can save one Asian brother from self-deleting himself out there, I'm going to do it, right? Single mother households, okay? We all know the single mother households is one of the contributing causes to degeneracy in society, right? Criminals, shooters, people who kill themselves, all the stuff, all leads back to single mom households, right? Obviously, Native Americans, American Indians is number one, single mom households, right? Black Americans
Number
are
two.
number 2, right? Hispanics
Number
are
three.
okay? My worry is that not only is the combination of the not getting, obviously, potential mates, right? Not getting potential suitors. And then now another stat is that Gen Z Asian Americans, right? We are Gen X. Then we had millennials, right? Every generation, Asian women are marrying outside of their race. They are not choosing their Asian brothers, right? The current Gen Z right now is, I believe, over 50% dating or marrying outside of their race. So my point is, Asian men are not getting a shot. Hey, I'm not here to feel sorry for my Asian brothers. I'm here to bring you awareness to you guys, so that way you guys can change the situation, because it's up to us. But my point is a correlation here, right, of self-deletion, right?
Yep.
And so we need to change this around. There's something going on that why we're not being looked at as potential suitors, okay? So going back to it, right? If men have such a hard time getting sexual access or dating access, and obviously Asian men are at the bottom of that totem pole, right?
Yep.
It is what it is, right? Now that you know the stats and you know that women can get it easier, and this is the other flip side too, Asian women are the most desirable on on dating apps, right? So there's that balance, that freaking well, there's reasons onto that besides just the Asian fever. There's traits, right? There's preferences on why Asian women, and we'll get into that in a bit, right? But now that you know all those stats, and I've talked to Pete, Yan, what do you think? Do you change your answer, or is your answer the same, that men cheating physically and women cheating physically are the same?
I still think it's the same. I mean, if you want to break it down into the effort of cheating, of who has to exert more effort in order to cheat, of course, men, it takes them a lot more effort to cheat. But if I was in a relationship right now with a partner who cheated, it doesn't matter how you did it, who, what, where, when, why, how. Like, I don't care how you cheated. If you gave her money or whatever, and then he's not gonna care how I cheated. Like, where'd you meet
We're
him?
just talking physically.
Oh,
we're just talking
physically?
sex,
Yeah,
yeah.
physical.
I still think it's the same. Like, when I sit down with a partner, like, we both cheated. Like, I don't care how you did it, but we both physically cheated. That's all I needed to know. It's the fact that you physically cheated, because in that moment, regardless of who cheated in the relationship, you're not going to see anything else. It's just going to be like, you physically cheated. That's all you see. It's like either the man or the woman cheating. I don't care about the facts. It's just like, you cheated. That's all I need to know. Like, okay, you broke the trust, or like the agreement that we had that we're gonna be.
So let me ask you this then, because you said trust again,
Yeah.
right? We keep going back to this word trust, but we haven't defined what the values were that we were entrusting each other for. So what do you think it is? What value did a man was supposed to bring to you that that you trusted him for, and what values were you supposed to bring to him that he trusted you for?
So when I say like breaking trust, it's like I trusted that, okay, this is from a monogamous standpoint of view that I'm saying this from. If I'm in a monogamous relationship, if my partner cheated, that's a breach of my trust, that I trusted that you were going to be like physically loyal to me, that you wouldn't give out your sexual energy to anybody else.
Is that what you're really looking for in a relationship, though?
Me? No, I'm just saying this from like a monogamous standpoint of view, not monogamous.
I guess what I'm saying is asking you personally,
Me
now,
personally.
right? What you're
Like,
looking for, right?
okay.
When you get into a relationship with a man, what are you expecting from him?
In terms of my own relationships, if I'm dating somebody right now, if I say you broke my trust, trust can mean different things for couples, you negotiate what trust means or
What are some of those things?
So if I'm dating somebody right now, just from my dating dynamic, I am giving my trust to you that, because this is from a polyamorous standpoint of view, it's a little bit different.
Yep. I remember
So
you
when I
saying
say I am trusting you, I trust that you're going to tell me if you like somebody or if you're talking to somebody, if you are seeing somebody. If you go behind my back and do it and I don't know, that's where breaking the trust comes from. Like, I wasn't aware of it. But it's different from a monogamous standpoint of view, because it's like when you're monogamous, you only date one person. So from my point of view, it's a little bit different than everybody else's.
Sure, but okay, so let's say you still want a polyamory relationship,
yeah.
right? So what would the values that he would still need to bring to this table to get this polyamorous relationship with you?
Or like to get that trust.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he's saying, "Hey, I'm gonna have this relationship with you. It's polygamous, fine, right? You get to go sleep with other people. I get to do my thing, right? But what am I giving to you that you want to be in this relationship with me?
What are they giving me?
Yeah, and then what are you giving them in return?
Yeah,
go ahead. What's up, Pete?
The definition of trust: in firm belief or reliability, true. Oh, definition of trust: firm belief in a reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, it's you.
You're looking at the reliability of somebody else.
Yeah.
Someone promised you something,
Yeah.
and you trust that they're going to give that to you. So what is it? I really want to know.
It's more like looking at the reliability of the person.
But the reliability to bring something to the table.
Yeah.
For you
That's
to be
that's
in there.
what you're trusting them to do. That's what
Yes.
I'm trying to say. So I get it. So my point is, what is the person bringing to the table? Because we
It'd be
haven't.
different from everybody that's there.
Fine. So then what is it? That's what I want to know. What
The
is
answer
it?
to you guys.
The problem with this is it'd be different from everybody else.
Well,
It's
then
like,
let
for
me say,
example,
let's go back to the conversation, Rian. So you personally, right? That's why I asked you personally, right? In this, polyamory, polygamous relationship that you're looking for now, currently, right?
my values.
Yeah. What value are you expecting from the other man?
For my own personal values, I would need the other person to be like transparent, somebody who
Hey, I want to have sex with other other people. I want to sleep around with many women as I can, but you can't.
oh no, that's not somebody I would be dating.
Okay, so you don't want my honesty then.
I want somebody I wouldn't even date you in the first place, because you're basically saying I don't have any control over my own autonomy. You can do whatever you want, but I am not. I am basically stuck in a role that you want me to play.
So let me ask you two questions then. Is my sex, right, my physical sex to you, one of my values that I'm supposed to be giving to you?
Like,
Me giving you sex, us having sex, is that me, one of my values that I'm supposed to be giving to you?
Say you're interested in this other person, right? This
No,
is
just the relationship between you and
That's what
I,
I'm saying.
hypothetically
Like,
saying, hypothetically saying, right?
what does he bring to the table that attracts
is
you?
my sex really a value that I'm bringing to you in the table?
I do require sex, so that is one of the
So
values
that's
I
one.
need. Like,
Is my sex valuable?
yeah,
you,
because
if
it's
you're in
like
a
an intimate connection. It's like valuable to me, but
And why is it valuable though?
I see sex as like an intimate moment to like connect with each other. It's not just like,
But you can get sex easily. So you can ask any man for the most part and get sex. Why is my sex valuable?
from other men, I could get from other men if I want to, but for me as a person, I don't want it just from whoever, random people. It's like, it's special to me because I feel something for you. Like, if somebody just walked in the door and be like, you want to have sex with me?
So
or like,
why-
I asked them to have sex and they say yes, I'm just gonna be like, I just wanted to know if you said
So
yes
we're
or
getting
not.
to the heart of the matter then.
Yeah.
What makes me have that value? So that way my sex is valuable to you.
It's like, Oh, it's hard for me to put into words like what kind of value a person has to bring to the table. I literally just watched like a video the other day about this, where someone was saying people always ask each other, what do you bring to the table? I have to find that video again now that I think about it, but it's basically their short answer is, I bring to the table what you cannot give for yourself.
Yeah, very vague terminology.
Yeah, it's like companionship. It's like, it's vague. It's like it's hard to pinpoint down. It's like,
well, we're gonna get to the bottom of it on this podcast right now.
Yeah, it's like trying to pinpoint, what does romance mean to you? Like, it's like a vague term.
So before I give you what I think it is, right? Let's look at it from your side, because you should know what you're bringing to the table, right? So obviously, I have a value that you deem valuable, right? That's why my sex is important to you, right? And that's why you have a connection to me. Otherwise, like you said, you won't be just having sex with any random dude out there, right? Right? Because otherwise, it wouldn't have any value, right? So obviously, something about me has a value that makes my sex important to you. What is your value you're giving to me then? You should know that, because that's your value that you're bringing to the table.
It's like a resume now. I think it's like, like
here you go.
What do you bring to the table?
What are your skills? What can you bring to the table for me? I feel like what I can bring to the table, not talking about monetary or anything like capitalism shit. Not talking about all the jobs, because literally everybody focuses on like, what do you bring to the table? It's always about the job. Where'd you go to school? How much do you make? Where do you work at? And I'm like, I'm a little tired of that. I don't want to look at that for like a partner. I mean, that is important. Just if you're looking to keep a roof over your house, everybody wants to be able to pay their bills, of course. But from like, if you take away all of that, you strip away all of that, who are they as like a person? What I bring to you is like my ability to help you see things you couldn't before. It's hard to put this into a word.
Do you think that's the first thing that a man of my value is looking for from a woman?
Not for like most men, they're not going to want that. They're going to be like, where is she in life? Like, what is she doing for a job? How much is she? It's like looking at a resume.
But would you value those men?
Who are
the ones that are saying, hey, what type of job does she have? What is she going to bring finance? Do you really are attracted to those guys?
No.
So once again, what is your value that you're bringing to the table? So your personality. Do you think, like I said, do you think a man of that value that you value really looks at your personality?
You're saying
when he first meets you or get to know you.
So wait, can you repeat that one more time?
A man of this value that you value, because you don't value those other guys who are like, hey, bring me finance, bring me money, or bring me ambition, right? You don't value those guys. So obviously a man of this value, right, this higher value that you're speaking of, right, what does he value? And it's not your personality, obviously, because he doesn't 100% know you yet, right?
Yeah.
He's just starting to get to know you.
Wait, so you're asking like, what do I?
Yeah, what are you going to bring to this man that you deem of value enough to give your sex to, right? And that you value enough that his sex to you is important, because he's not a random person, right? Because sex with a random person, and I would argue most women feel this way, right? I would say 90% or more of women feel that having sex with a random stranger is not valuable, right? And there's no connection there, right? So obviously this man has to have some value for you to have this connection with him. So what are you giving back in return for that value that this man is bringing? And if personality is not the one thing, because, he's just starting to know you. He does.
Personality and outlook on life. I feel like I have a way of looking at things that most guys don't usually think about. In terms of like, how do I put this into words? Thinking of inner growth, like
What would that perspective of inner growth assist him in? This man that you would be, committed to and bringing value to. What would your hope, like if you're saying, hey, I can give you introspection, right? I can give you maybe a different take on things. What would your goal for him be by giving him that other viewpoint?
my goal would be to hope that he continues to grow into being like a better person.
And how would he pragmatically show that?
Like tangibly show
Tangibly show it, yeah.
I mean, some things you can't tangibly show. I mean, you can show it through conversations, on talking to each other, on how you feel that you've grown so far, or like in your. I'm trying to put it into words. It's a little bit hard.
I think I figured this out.
Pete, you want to chime in before I give my comment?
Well, she's saying
It's
that
like I feel like we have the
so what-
same
like-
outlooks.
So
Go ahead, talk.
So one of my girls, I call her an upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
So the bad thing is like
Talking to the mic, please.
well, the bad thing is so for example, like Asian guys, we might bring the same things that she's saying to the table, but you're never going to get past, you're looking at getting past like the initial introduction. Most guy, they don't give the Asian guy a chance.
Yeah,
So
99%.
Yeah, but they're looking at their resume versus the girl, or they're like, well, I bring this to the table, but you're not going to find out what they're bringing to the table until later on.
But what is she bringing
She's
to the
saying
table?
that she's pretty much an upgrade. I'm going to support you. I'm going to push you in the right direction. I'm going to support you to go to school if you want to do that
Do
for
you
school.
think the man that she values, value that?
That's the thing. It's a different values. Like I know one guy that's completely content on how he is today. Completely content. Don't get me wrong. You and I, stuck on a 12 gauge, probably pull Kurt Cobain, but no, not him. He loves his life. And you look at him like, and I knew a girl that was literally, I call her an upgrade. When they were dating, she was there for him for school, this, that, and this.
Well,
and that's what the girls are saying that they're doing, is bringing this to the table.
I would argue this person that you're speaking about, and I would personally want to speak with him in person.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
But I would personally say that he's not happy with his life.
Oh, yeah, but like I said, he might not be happy with his life, but ultimately that's his life, unlike our life.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can say that about everyone. I mean, ultimately, your life is your life, and especially when it comes to a guy, right?
Yeah.
As a man, no one's going to owe us any favors. No one's going to owe us any reasons for excuses. We are what we are.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So I still want to get back to this conversation, though, about what is the value that this woman is supposed to bring to this man that she values.
That's the thing. It's like when right off the bat, no one knows what their values are. When you first come you're literally handing out a resume. They don't know who you are.
Maybe that's the problem with this current.
It is.
That
but
no one knows their value.
a lot of people don't know their value. It took me a while to figure out my value. That's why I was able to come back.
What is your value
Nice.
then? What is your value?
What I bring to, like, for example, when you saying, like she said, oh, I'll support him, I'll make him do this or help him do this, help him do that. I'm loyal. The second I have somebody next to me,
You're
like,
loyal.
I'm loyal.
But loyal with what?
With
We keep
her.
saying these vague terms
Yes,
like
I
loyal,
know.
trust. Like there's
Yeah.
got to be some tangible thing here, because I could be loyal with freaking 2 pennies, but no
Yeah.
one wants 2 pennies,
Exactly.
right? So what are we loyal about? What are we trusting each other with? It has to be valuable, otherwise there's no value.
It's a value to the person, but no one knows what it is. It could be just their
let's
attitude.
Let's be 100% honest with each other. Anything that's not valuable, no one wants.
No
So
one
something has to be valuable for someone to want it.
I used to tell people this is like, the best anybody could go physically is 8. The last 2% is like,
So
who
you're
they
talking
are
about
in
looks
person.
now.
No, like all overall. So like, for example, if you scale a person from 1 to 10, right? And all
Yeah.
girls gonna be like, I'm a 7. Hey, what's up, girl?
Hey, we're gonna take a pause in the show to get
Introduce.
Greet and Jasmine back into the show. She was running a little bit late, like promised earlier, guys. So,
Yeah.
But Jasmine, whenever you're ready, we'll just jump you in. Don't worry about it, okay? We're doing it live, guys. Hey, we're still building this ship as we're steering it, okay? So we'll get into the number rating here in a bit because that's going to be a spin-off of the topics that we're talking about, PD, right?
Okay,
but once again, because now you're talking about all the values combined, right?
Yeah, that's what.
But
we're
we still
bringing to the
haven't
table.
even figured out what the values are.
Well,
so we need to know what the values are before we can put a numerical value on this value, okay? So it looks like, Yen, you wanted to say something. So what do you think this value is that this man that you value wants?
Dang, I lost my train of thought.
I'll remind you. That's fine.
I mean, I was trying to hold on to that thought. I was like, value. I mean, all these terms are really vague. But, and I want to say value is in the eye of the beholder.
We're talking in generalization, though. I mean, I will be honest with you. Most men value this value, right? Even the highest value guy or the lowest value guy, we value this value. So what is that value in general?
Lost my train of thought. But, I mean, everybody brings value into my life, even friends. They bring some kind of value.
Yeah, but we're talking about someone that you take seriously for a relationship.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a hard thing for me to like put into tangible words. Like, what do you bring to me that is of value? Because
what do you think? What do you think a man? I'll take myself for example. Right, I'm married to my wife. Obviously, she trusts me to bring certain value. Right. What is she bringing to me that I would die for? It's that high of a value that I would risk my life, put myself in harm's way. Aliens came down today. I would go get my guns. PD probably be there with me, and we'd go fight the aliens and maybe die together.
Whoa. I like you, man.
Yeah, we're trying to survive. I know we're trying to live, but
I'll probably be, sitting in the background laughing and shit.
but well, we'll get into that reason why too. But I have something worth dying for. Maybe PD doesn't, and that's part of this conversation, right? So I have something worth dying for. What is she giving to me that I'm willing to die for?
It's like me asking, why do you love her? What do you love her for?
Yeah.
Like, what is it about her that makes you love her? It could be like personality traits, like she is, like you love how sensitive she is, or like you like how she's never willing to give up, how she always like pushes and always tries, like they're like personality traits you may like. I don't know if it could be tangible or not, because when you say tangible things, I always think of like a resume, like job, money, education, but like.
Fair enough.
When,
okay. Anything else? I want to have Jasmine come into this conversation too. Yeah. Maybe you want to think about it. Maybe think about what that value you might bring to this man that you would value. And then, because you said personality.
My tenacity, never given up.
Yeah.
Intro.
Yeah.
Introspection.
Introduce Jasmine again here. Welcome back to the channel, Jasmine. You want to state your name again, your age, your ethnicity, right?
For part 2.
And obviously your dating status.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am Jasmine. I'm jumping in late. I was stuck in traffic.
No problem.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm Filipino British, 35, unmarried.
Unmarried. Right?
Unmarried.
But dating, seeing somebody
But
right now.
dating, yes.
You still with that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, you are with Uber.
You said that. You said that.
There was a couple close calls.
Hey man, it's been a week. It's been a week. So I don't know. I want to ask. Yeah.
There's been like probably 3 times when it could have changed.
Okay.
Oh wow.
So-
Okay. Did anything on this podcast influence those changes from our last conversation?
No, not
Okay.
really. I mean, no, not really. I mean, because I'm kind of already where I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get you caught up to speed by asking you kind of what we asked last week, okay? Because it was started into this conversation that I've been having with Yan and Pete, and it's been a good conversation. So I want to hear your take on it, okay? So obviously last week I asked everyone, right, if cheating for men and women were the same.
Sure.
right? And you said, I remember, funny enough, right? You're a one-woman man, but you correct.
And then I broke the internet.
You correct. Yeah, you broke us all completely, and then you corrected yourself, right? So,
Well, I'm missing some.
You
And
need
this
some
is a
part
big
one.
detail.
so you expected monogamy from your man as well too. You're
Yeah.
sitting from okay. So my question follow up this week was, do you think it's easier for men and women to cheat? Which one, physically? Is it easier for men to cheat, or is it easier for women to cheat? In essence, who is it easier to get sex from? Right? Is it easier for men to get sex, or is it easier for women to get sex? And how much is that difference? Is it like really big difference? Is it 60-40? Is it 50-50?
Are we talking about like just the availability?
Well, just as a guy, if I had to go out and hit 10 girls up, right, talk to 10 girls, and my goal, of course, is having sex with them, what would be my chances of getting sex with one of those 10 girls versus a woman just going out, hitting up 10 dudes and be like, hey, I want to sleep with you.
Well, when you put it that way, I would say probably the woman.
Okay, how much do you think?
Maybe like a 60-40.
60-40, you think?
I'm not good at math.
Okay. So you think 40% of guys out there has a chance, right? So if he talks to 10 women, one guy, an average guy, we're talking 5'6", 5'8" here, right? 47,000, 55,000. Okay, maybe he's an Asian brother. He makes a little bit more than your Caucasian guy, right? Maybe he makes $55,000 to $60,000 a year, right? Not the most, physically capable guy, just your average, not the handsomest, right? Not maybe that doesn't have very much game, just just your average dude. You think he'll talk to 10 women and have 4 women?
Okay, maybe not.
Okay.
Well, I mean, when you describe that man.
Yeah.
Well, that's the average guy, right? Well, that's the average guy.
Keyword was Asian, right?
Yeah, you look
Well,
at that song, you look better in the
Asian,
dark.
we already talked about the stats earlier. The Asians would have dipped
Yeah.
more. Hey, not to hate on my Asian brothers. It's just the reality out there,
Okay.
okay? So, yeah.
Some of the facts.
So now that you know that, what do you think the percentages are?
10%. Like he might.
So less than 10%,
Like one girl. might
maybe
be
one
like,
girl.
Okay, sure, why not?
What if I told you even the top tier man, the top 5%, top 10% of guys, we're talking blue check marks, celebrity athletes, their closing rate is 10% or less.
Really?
Yes. So, and then what do you think women's chance? Even just your average woman. And you guys know what the average woman is nowadays? 5'4", 185 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. So it used to be in the late 60s, guys. This is one of the reasons why the dating market's going to trash as well, too. I personally think, right? Because men were very visual, right? In the 1960s, the average female was 5'4". They haven't changed height. Still same height. But 125.
But hold on, what was it? 160?
185.
Yeah, average.
Do they got a front and a butt?
Well, we don't know.
No, it does matter.
Well, we don't know. We're assuming
tell you
no.
right now.
We're assuming that they're not freaking curvaceous, okay? We're just assuming that's just the average female, 5'4", 185 pounds, okay? But even then, you think the average females, what is the average female's chance of getting sex if she approaches 10 dudes?
I mean, probably more than the dude.
How much more?
I don't know. I mean, she probably has a closing rate of maybe like 3 out of 10 dudes.
What if I told you, right? What if I told you that the average female is getting way more hits on DMs, like Instagram and stuff like that, than even the top tier guy?
Really?
Yeah. A study showed that, probably off the mic.
Oh, from the mic.
Yeah, a study showed that even like a top tier dude is getting the same amount of hits, like potentials, as just your average female. Right?
Interesting.
And do you think, like, even yourself, I mean, let's put yourself, any one of you girls in here, I wouldn't say you're average, but some of you guys are above average. Some of you guys, I would say, is slightly above average, right? You guys can ask my opinion later if you guys really want the honest answer. But I would say that even all of you guys in this room, you guys think you guys would have a high chance of getting sex with a man if you just went and asked 10 strangers out there, hey, have sex with me? You think a man would turn you down?
I'm sure there'd be some man that would turn me down. I I mean, I'm also really awkward, so I think that alone might.
You
just
think
be
men?
like,
You think men care about awkward
Yeah,
women?
exactly. They make songs about such stuff. You ever
Yeah, you
look
think
at
a man?
cars?
You think a man will not have sex with you because you're socially awkward?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, viewers. Okay, viewers.
Okay.
Right now we're live. Okay,
Right.
comment down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, what are you guys' thoughts? Is but let's be honest.
Yeah, we
Let's
are.
be honest.
Let's be honest. A man
part of
is
my show.
pretty
It's
horny.
sofa.
We're not going to turn down sex with most
Part of
women,
my soap
even the top tier dudes, right?
here. It's
And,
great.
and that is kind of why that's one of the reasons why the current dating market is so skewed as well too, is because the top tier guys are getting all the women, right? Right. We know that women swipe on dating apps are only 5% of men. Right. And I get it. You guys are getting hundreds. Everyone's hitting on you every single day. You're getting at least one dude hitting on you every single day. You're probably getting at least multiple guys hitting up your Instagram or your Facebook. Sometimes you guys don't even know it because it's something like, hey, nice hair. Hey, can I open that door for you? Hey, can I carry your bags? That every time a man is saying that, he's saying, hey, do you want to have sex with me? And you guys don't know that per se, but that's really the honest truth, right? The fact that the guy had enough guts to come up to you and even say, hey, can I open the door for you? Most guys aren't going to even take that initiative and be confident if they didn't think that, hey, I'm going to shoot my shot right now and see if I can have sex with this woman, right? See what her response is. If she's nice to me and smiles back and says, yeah, please hold my bags, then they'll be like, okay, cool. Well, what's your name? You know, are you single? Are you freaking dating somebody, right? What do you do? That's how it opens the door, right? So my point is, guys are pretty available, okay? And I think most women don't see that, okay? So now that we know that there's this huge disparity between women being able to easily get sex and men having such a hard time getting sex, especially our Asian brothers.
Ouch.
Once again, no hate,
Grinding on it.
right? I'm bringing this to light because this is a conversation we need to talk about because it's relating to other stuff I talked about earlier, right?
Well, if you look at the Asian men, when it comes down to like when they get into relationships and actually get married, they flourish. I know a couple people that have like 4 kids, 3 kids, and that's the thing. It's like a lot of girls when they start off, they're like, "Oh yeah, I want to try out other things." But
Yeah.
when it comes down to it, what they're looking for, like Asian women, when they get together with an Asian man, then they figure out they wanted to be with an Asian man because they have more. More in common.
But couldn't we say that that's an exception to the rule, especially in this day and age versus?
Yeah, but like you were saying, like that, you're right. A lot of girls nowadays look at how you're saying it. Guy opens the door, says you got pretty hair, shit like that. They're like, oh, well, he's hitting on me. Maybe he's just opening the door. Because I'm old school and you're old school. We opened the door. That was just normal.
Yeah, but you really think?
But
in
nowadays, yeah, exactly. Nowadays, men are just, oh, well, I'm going to open the door. Yeah, she's going to, spread them for me. No. You look at a lot of guys nowadays, are just like, holy shit. That's.
But
what's
let's
in
be
their
honest.
mind.
I mean, yes, men used to be chivalrous, but and obviously women killed it. I get.
Oh
that.
yeah.
But do you think the intention of us being chivalrous has always been innocent?
No.
So,
But if you were raised with those morals, it's ingrained in the background. Like I do it just as, like when I check a gun, I pull the mag, I check the chamber.
No.
Same thing
I get that, and you're gonna do that for
for a woman. That's,
for every woman per se.
Yeah, it's like
right.
when you
You'll do
get
that
up
for an
for-
old lady, you know,
like getting up
right?
for a
You'll do
seat
that for
from a
someone
woman.
ugly that you might not. But let's be honest,
Yeah.
you're doing it too because if a good-looking girl that you are sexually interested in, and that's an easy way because think about it, it's a societal norm to be able to do that. Well, it used to be
It
a
used to
societal
be.
norm, right? That women would be like, okay, yeah, no problem. So it was a good way for most men to get in the door with a lot of women by having this societal norm in place to be like, hey, let me hold your bags, let me help you out, let me be a man,
But now it's toxic. To be
right?
that
But,
way.
right. So, I digress, right? Let's get back to this conversation, right?
I like it
So-
though.
no.
I like a man to be a gentleman.
100%.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, I'm old fashioned. I'm old fashioned. I like a man to be a gentleman. Like if we're walking on the street, I like the man to be on the outside.
Yep.
Because that way I feel like he's sort of like protecting me. A man should be a man.
But
But
with every man,
What?
with every man or just a very specific man?
Of course, Pacific man.
Yeah. Once again,
A
see
man that I
lie?
care about.
So once again, it used to be like, let's finish this conversation. So once again, it used to be a good societal norm for a majority of men to be able to, in essence, flirt with women without being shamed, without being toxic masculine, right? It was, but obviously feminism killed that, right? Because now they said, oh, but hey, I have to play both sides. You guys know on this podcast, I call out the men's stuff and I call out the women's stuff. Men's intention is always to have sex with you guys. Okay? Our interaction with you guys is for sex. All right? Yes, there are some women that we don't find attractive. You know, grandma open the street. I'm not trying to have sex with her. But any hot girl or any girl, and I'll be honest, guys, okay, well, this is a different conversation. I don't want to elaborate too much. But most women are attractive to most men. Right? Whereas most men are not attractive to most women. Right? We just proved that. 95% of men do not get swiped on dating apps. Whereas I guarantee you, most men will probably sleep with 90% of women. And the stat proves it because 90% of women have procreated throughout history.
Yeah. Well,
Whereas only 40% of men have procreated.
that's where it's like,
So that means we're banging all the chicks. It doesn't matter if you ugly, if you short, whatever.
We're
right?
banging them all.
We're banging them all.
Yeah.
So our physical metric isn't that high.
I
Right?
remember talking to somebody one day. He says it's ingrained in the male thing is to procreate.
Procreate, 100%.
Yeah, that's their thing.
So getting back to Jasmine, right? So now that you know that it's really hard for men to get sex and it's really easy for women to get sex, the second question is cheating the same physically? Do you consider men cheating physically the same as women cheating physically, and why?
Well, I'm kind of processing through your question.
So if a man that's dating you
Yes.
goes and have sex physically with another female, right? Is that the same as you cheating on him and having sex with another man?
So I guess based on the conversation we were just having, as far as like how much harder it is or would have been for him to get that woman to have sex with him versus if I just went out and was like, you, me, back room, let's go.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know,
That's how you roll. Okay.
that's how I roll.
She's never done that before. This
I've
is
never
just
done
this is all hypothetical, okay,
It's
guys?
hypothetical.
Yeah, she's
okay.
hypothetical.
Okay.
Okay?
Pete.
Then I guess no,
And why not?
not the same because he would have to invest time and energy and build
There
up.
you go.
And so now everyone's caught up to the conversation. So once again, we've been talking very vague: trust, loyalty, time, consideration.
I said finance.
We said finance, but
Yeah.
once again, do you think that's really a metric that this man is looking for? And so we got back to this whole conversation, right? Is what is the value that we are trusting each other for? What is the value that I'm supposed to be loyal to each other for? In essence, what am I bringing to the table that you value? And what are you bringing to the table that I value? And what do you think those are?
What do I bring to the table?
Or what is the man? How about why don't you start? What is the man supposed to bring to the table for you to value? Now, and before I get to that, are you very similar to the rest of the ladies on the panel that you're not going to have sex with a random man, right?
No,
Right? You wouldn't value that,
no.
right? So, because I asked earlier, is my sex one of the values that I'm supposed to bring to the table too? Is it for you? Would the man's sex be a value that you're looking for?
Not off, like, not right away, I guess. But I mean, if we establish that we are now in this relationship together, I think
What would you need from him though
to get to that point.
to get sex for you, and what would make you appreciate that sex from him? Because obviously a random stranger you don't appreciate, right? Because there's something about him being a stranger versus this man that you value that the sex is different. It has to be, because that's the only difference, right? Stranger versus someone you value. So what is that value?
So, like, just so that I'm on the same page as you.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that I am looking for in a man, like what I would want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, emotional maturity. Like, he understands. Yeah. Like, he understands. Excuse me, I'm gonna tickle.
No problem.
He understands his own emotions. He can understand my emotions because, you know, that in itself is intimacy. Being able to, like, meet each other, like, here's where I'm at, here's where you're at, and be able to, like, navigate through that.
So we talked about this a little bit last week, right? What is this emotional, right? Emotional intelligence
Yes.
that that he is supposed to bring to you. So what's the tangible emotional
damage.
thing that he is to bring to you? What would he say to you? How would he express it to you?
Like,
Maybe understanding himself and being able to
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's that, like, understanding, yeah, yourself. What do you bring to the table? And him having a good sense of knowing.
Okay, so let me put you on the spot then.
God.
Okay, hey bud.
No, I'm good.
All right, let me put you on the spot then, right?
Okay, take the spot. There you go.
Somebody give me that.
Yeah. Right. So I love you. I'm gonna pay for all your stuff, buy you a house, have kids, take care of the stuff, right? But I want to have sex with multiple women, and you have to be closed on your end. Cannot have sex with other men, but I get to have sex with multiple women. I still love you. I'm not gonna go freaking pay for these women. I'm not gonna do anything with them in terms of, like, finances, but I'm just gonna commit all that to you. But I still want to have sex with all these other women. Would that be emotional intelligence?
No.
So what would be emotional intelligence then?
I mean, I guess you could argue that it could be, because at least he's honest. He's honest about it. Pardon me?
And before I continue, letting you answer, do you think that's most men's? Do you think most men want that?
I mean,
No, I'm
from
good.
the way you've been describing
get one
the average man, then I would say maybe.
Yeah. So even the lowest tier man, right, who doesn't have high value, to the top tier man, right, that has maybe all the values that you're looking for. Do you think all of them would be just as honest if they had a
no.
choice? No, if they had a choice.
If
they could do it. Do you think, I guess for me to rephrase that question, do you think that's what they all want? Do you think most men want what I just stated to you?
To be able to have sex with multiple women, and probably, yeah.
Okay, so once again, I want to press on this matter. Wouldn't that be emotional intelligence then? Because I'm honest to you. I know what I want.
But
I mean, I guess we could keep still arguing, like, if you are honest and you know what you want. I mean, those are very big components of having emotional intelligence. But would that work for me in terms of being in a relationship with you? Probably not. But if you could be upfront and honest with me about, hey, this is what I want. These are my expectations in this relationship.
Let's change what you want then. I'm coming to you. I'm opening my mouth. It's like a cartoon, right, where you have that bubble, and that person needs to say what's in that bubble. What would you want this man who has your emotional intelligence that you're looking for? What are the words in that bubble?
I don't want to have sex with other women.
Okay.
I want to pay for all your things. No. Yeah, I mean, that he wants to be like my teammate, my I don't like saying necessarily other half, but yeah, like, I mean, my partner. He wants to be my partner in life. Like, every day we're waking up and it's like, okay, what are we doing today? What goals are we going after? How are we going to change the world today?
So then, once again, let's get back to it then, because we haven't been able to say tangible things. what value is he bringing to you then? Because you're saying, hey, I'm your partner, ride or die. I'm going to do this for you. What is he doing for you? That's tangible.
Like
and not just giving you this
like tangible
bullshit
of
line.
like
Yeah, what is he
I can,
really
like,
gonna do
touch
for you?
it.
Because I can come to a meeting and I'll be like, hey,
Sure.
hey, I'm giving you this. Don't worry, Jasmine. Tomorrow I'm gonna be giving you this. I'm gonna ride or die with you. We'll wake up in the morning and I'm gonna freaking go out there and get what I'm supposed to get. See how vague I'm talking? Like I'm like
Yeah.
just saying,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
I'll
I
bring
see what you're
I'll
saying.
bring you back something. Don't worry, I'll be out there. I'm gonna go get it. What is this tangible thing that you're looking for?
Well, I mean, I guess it would show into like what he does every day. I mean, like, yeah, it's like you're saying, like he can talk the talk, but if like every day nothing's happening or nothing's changing, then yeah. I guess
So
there's
what
nothing.
needs to change?
What needs to
Needs to happen?
I mean, go out there, make some money.
Okay, money's one. All right, we finally got to a tangible. We finally got to a tangible thing. So money is one. Okay.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
else? What else?
I mean, yeah, like the basic needs, right? Shelter, food,
Resources.
resources.
Okay, so money and
like
resources.
he's providing, or at the very least, like contributing.
How much does he need to provide or contribute? Out of 100%.
At least 50.
At least 50.
At least 50.
Okay.
You know,
So
I
51%?
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay. Like if we're partners, like we can be partners, like we can be equals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that. I don't want to be taking care of you necessarily in that sense. Like obviously we can.
Now, would you who would lead in that household then if it's 50-50? If let's say we had a decision like, hey, I want to move to Florida, babe. I don't like freaking Washington State no more. It's freaking cold. It's dreary. I can't stand this freaking place. Let's take up the kids. I know your work is here, but I'm gonna go get a job somewhere else and freaking we'll make it happen. Who's making that decision?
Since it's 50-50.
Since it's 50-50.
Ultimately, it should be a weighing.
It's harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be a weighing of the decisions.
Right.
So if he's got a job set up there, and she's got something prepped up, it's like don't jump.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope if this situation actually played out that there would be conversations
Yes.
and this weighing of, okay, here's the pros and the cons and
Yes.
or whatever, you know.
Would you prefer that situation, or would you prefer a man that took care of 90% of your bills or more, or 80% or more, right? And just said, hey, I got shit covered. We're just going to move to Florida. I already bought a house.
I'll take
Got a
it.
freaking, retirement.
raising my house.
You just go down there, just chill. We do what we do. Right? So which one would you prefer? The man that has to come to you and be like, hey, I want to move really bad, but, my job, your job, we got to discuss this. We got to work it out. We got to figure this thing out. I don't know if it's going to work out. We'll try our best, babe. I'm only bringing 51% to this table. If I lose my job, we're not gonna be able to pay the bills. You're gonna have to cover the bills for freaking 6 months, 8 months, maybe. Would you prefer that, or you prefer a man who's like, hey, no, I got this shit covered, 80%. Bam, I already bought a house down there. We're moving. Take the kids. Let's go. I bought a fucking Mercedes. Let's get the fuck out of here. Which one would you prefer?
I actually would not like that. I mean, if it came to the point where we have this conversation and he said, okay, I have, this great promotion, or I got this great job, but it's going to require us to move to Florida. Mm-hmm. You can now stay home because I have this great job and we're going to move here and blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. That would then, I guess, like tilt the scales, right? So maybe if we came at, we got to this point and we've been 50-50, and now all of a sudden here's this new thing that comes along. And now he can say, now I can go, whatever. Now I can take care of 90% of the things. But I would hope that
there was a conversation, and he didn't just expect me to pick up my entire life, my kids' lives, and move to wherever, you know, just because, oh, I got this money. Because I don't know.
Is the man that you're with now, is he 50-50 with you?
Yeah. I mean, like, we don't live together, so, you know, there's his things and there's my things, and, you know, like, if we go out or something, he pays, but, you know.
And so what is he bringing into the table that you were attracted to?
He told me I was pretty, and he didn't cheat on me.
Okay.
I was in a very low place.
Okay.
Is that a good thing? Is that a compliment to him then?
No, it's
Okay.
not.
Okay. And so you had stated on the last show, guys, bringing us all the viewers up to speed, right? You had stated on the last show that recently you had asked for more from him. You wanted more. So what is that more?
I mean, I guess, like, I would like a conversation like that. Like, hey, babe, like, you want to get a house? I can help contribute these bills or, you know, whatever. And
Did you bring that up with him, or did he bring that up with you?
he's never brought that up.
So,
She's wanting.
Yeah, I'm
She's waiting for that.
but have you expressed that to him? Or was this the first time you've expressed it on the podcast?
yeah.
Oh.
Are you watching
Surprise!
this? Are you watching this? Jasmine
Yeah,
is
whoever-
requesting.
Whoever you
you're
are out
dating.
there, mystery man, you're surprised. We just told you.
I mean,
Jasmine's hinting.
and I know he's not gonna watch this, but I mean, like, quite honestly, at this point, like, I feel like we've kind of gotten to this point where I'm like, do I even really want that from him anymore? You know, I'm like, I'm at the point where I'm like, I can do it myself, and I almost would rather do it myself and just.
But would you stick with him
No.
if that was the case?
No.
So then there we go. So once again, what would you want from him for him to stick around? For him to be qualified for you to stick around? Because we keep going back to this question. What is the value that he is supposed to bring to you?
It is
So,
hard. It's
so
a
for
little
example, so
Hard for me. I already know what value my man need to bring to
I'm
me.
looking at. I
Go
was
ahead,
looking
Petey.
at this the wrong way.
Go ahead, Pete.
So I was thinking, oh, would you cheat on your man or you cheat your woman to be like instant like that? But all this is building up like, I'm using the word like, I hate that word. Okay, so it's building rapport, building a relationship. So you're literally building everything up. So like you said, where we go, what's your value? Your value's nothing. When you're first come to this table of nothing, you have nothing. You're literally building it.
Let me stop you there. Do you think really women look
No,
at
they
men
don't.
that have no value?
No, they don't.
So
But
they had to have value for the women to even express interest in it.
exactly.
So
but
what are those values?
But for the men, we show strength, support. That's what we bring to the table.
Do you think we support women?
I don't know nowadays, but what they want is somebody strong. Just like the old style where
Okay, so
it's
physicality.
emotionally, physicality,
Well, I mean-
one or the other, bank account, whatever.
I would
But
say-
what the girls bring to the table will be something over time. So they're building up to what they're showing what their
Do
value
you think
is
over
to us.
time women give their value to a guy?
That-
Do you think a man
that's
would
what
stick
they're
around
showing.
long enough
If they
for a
if-
woman to give?
nowadays guys are like you said, girls can get anything.
Yeah, but
they
we call
want.
those dudes simps typically.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but then they also got married.
We already know historically men right now men are not getting married. We have the lowest birth rates. We have the lowest marriage rates, right?
Yeah, true.
Women have only 40% of men have procreated, right? We have all these stats, right? 95% of men are invisible to 90% of women or 100% of women, right?
A comment
Okay,
was
what's the
like-
comment?
Okay.
Go ahead. What's the
Go
comment?
ahead.
The comment was, I would love that something in the middle. Like, I would love a communication, but cover the stuff. The stuff.
So once again, right? It's just stuff. It's just communication. What are we communicating, and what is the stuff that we are bringing?
Okay, Jasmine,
table.
you were gonna say something.
Yeah, you were gonna say something.
I mean,
Jasmine.
like,
Tell Pete.
wait,
Yeah.
well, because Pete was talking about, like, physicality, I think.
yeah.
Or something
Do
like
you
that.
look for physicality in your man?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, like, that. I think what, like, initially attracted me to the guy I'm with now is because he was very physically fit.
Yeah.
He had big biceps.
How tall is he?
Not tall.
Not tall, but he was in shape. Wait. To help our Asian brothers out, how tall was he?
I think he's like 5'6".
5'6".
Yeah.
Hey, we got a chance. We got a chance out there, boys.
Asian brothers.
5'6".
Hey, that's tall for me.
Yeah. He's short. I mean, like,
But he was in shape.
but yeah.
Be in shape. Okay.
Yeah, we
Physical.
talk about it all the time. If you're a short dude, you gotta go work out. You
Go to the
gotta
gym.
get your ass in shape. Yeah.
Wilbur's not Asian.
No, he's not.
No,
Yeah.
but we're just talking
Oh, we're
about.
talking about Asian guys.
No.
Wilbur's not Asian.
No.
But we're talking about we're talking about generalization when height comes into play, right? If you're not tall, you don't have the height perspective, you need to get in shape. But there's still this physical presence, and because of why you alluded to it earlier.
Yeah, well, I was adding to other stuff too.
Yeah.
But what did he say? He said earlier that is one of the values that a man is supposed to bring to the table, and you obviously found that attractive. Just biologically, you couldn't put a word to it because obviously we've been having such a hard time putting a word on what the values are. But
So looks.
It's nature. That's how they are.
and what does that provide?
What strength?
Safety.
It shows safety.
Protection.
There you go.
Protection,
Ding,
right?
ding, ding,
So
ding,
protection is one, right?
Yeah.
Protection is one. She touched on it earlier, right? Finance, resources, that's another, right?
Most of all that drops into security, safety.
Yeah, 100%.
You're 100%.
100%.
It's like
100%.
pretty much, for example, all you girls, you get a guy that hugs you, thin bone, weak as sin. Are you gonna feel safe with him? No.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't want a guy that, like, I could take out.
Yeah.
One of the things
There you go.
you bring to me
Ding, 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 ding.
that
You know,
remind
talking to
me-
the mic.
One of the things you bring to me, one of the things that my exes all loved about me is that when I hugged them, they felt secure. That was one of the things that bring it to the table. Like a lot of girls, when you hug them, it's literally like a blanket. It shows security.
Okay.
It is not physical. Yeah. It's
So
just,
do you have another comment there,
Yep,
Liz?
there you go.
So the comment you made earlier about most men aren't getting married anymore,
Mhm.
it's most men are afraid of that level of commitment.
I
What do
would
you think that is?
I
No,
would
I
dis-
c- I
I
can
would
see that.
disagree. We can get into that conversation. I would actually honestly disagree. Most men are not even getting the chance for commitment. You're only talking about that person, whoever made that comment. You're only talking about the top tier man. The top tier man that even you would give a chance to, because like we said earlier, only 5% of men are getting swiped on from dating apps. So you're talking about the top tier man, viewer, whoever that is. And yes, those men have options. They will not commit to you because if they have options.
They have
and
choices, yeah.
we'll get to that later. But
They will
once
cap-
again, we will come full circle because those men are willing to commit. We just haven't stated yet what those values are yet. We have still not found out what those values are that we were supposed to commit.
That's what comes from that old saying: collect, then
Yeah.
select.
So we touched on some of it. We've touched on some of it. We said physicality, right? We said physical presence, which provides protection, security. We talked about money and resources, right? That provides security and protection and all this other stuff, right? So we've touched on some of it. There's another one, but we haven't touched upon it yet, right? But we'll get to now, knowing that that's what the man provides to you. That's what you found attractive from the man initially, right? To even give him the chance for this sexual access. That's what separates him from a stranger, right? Because that other stranger didn't have these values for you to find them attractive. That's what gave you this connection, right? So now, what are you bringing to the table for this man that's bringing all these things? Who, by the way, is got to be the top tier man already to attract you, because we just freaking concluded that only women find the top percentage of men even slightly attractive, and to give them a chance. So as little value of you think of your men, he's still a top tier man enough to get your attraction. So what value are you bringing to him in exchange for his value?
What am I bringing?
This one's been quiet the entire time. I would like to hear this third conversation right here.
We will go this
This
way.
one
Don't worry.
right
We'll go.
Can I'm run out for a second and I want to be back, but can you hold this off until I get back? Because I want to hear this.
We'll be back, Pete. Go ahead. Go. Okay.
Bathroom is that way.
Yeah, or that way. It doesn't matter.
Either
But yeah,
way.
Jasmine. So this man that you value, obviously, you value his sex. You feel connected, intimately wise, because he's bringing these values to you, right? What are you giving him in return?
But I mean, quite honestly, like, I mean, not even at this point. Anyway,
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Do you think? Hey, but let's all be adults here. Do you think that will be a deal breaker in the long run if you're not bringing sex? Do you think sex is one of your values? First off, I mean, not all joking
yeah,
aside.
no. I mean, like, yes, but no. I mean, no, in that, like, I think we have gotten to this point of, like, I'm not necessarily wanting to have that kind of intimate relationship.
Why is that?
Because, like, I'm not feeling connected emotionally.
And why is that?
Because I'm feeling like all those things that we listed before about his values
Is he not bringing those values to the table?
slowly stopped coming to the table.
See, there you go.
Okay.
Truth always comes out in the end, guys.
Okay. And
Yeah.
and we will get to that to the very end. So, right? So you're not giving this value of yours, the sex, to this man now because he's not bringing. Do you regret at all that maybe you had given the sex to this man without him providing all the values as much as he could in the beginning?
No. I mean, because I think in the beginning,
It's okay. Pete's just singing. It's fine.
He is singing.
It's fine. You know, we all sing in the bathroom. It's okay, Pete. It's all right. Good.
I think everybody heard you, even the viewers.
Because my thing now is, this is a learning lesson to not only our Asian sisters out there, but all those sisters out there that, you know, have this similar conversation, right? Okay. You gave up one of your values, right, to a man who, in your own words, maybe it didn't have the highest value that your thought was at the time that you gave it up to him. The next man, let's say hypothetically that you break up with this man because he's no longer bringing what he needs to bring to the table. This next man that's going to come into your life potentially, would you expect more or less from this new man?
more.
So then everyone's going to ask, every guy's going to ask this question, right? If you gave up your value to this man who had less value, right, and you gave it to him, why should I bring more to get that value again?
Well, when you know better, you do better. So I think for me, like, if / when there's another, the next one, I would, like, I think there would be a longer waiting period, and if that's not okay with him, then it's okay.
Then you would, what, just dump him?
Oh, maybe he would dump me.
Well, yeah, I mean, what if I told you, and I think you know the answer to this question already, right? If a man had higher value, right, it's very transactional, right? He's brought his value to the table. He would want that value in exchange. What did we say earlier? What were the words we talked about earlier? Trust, loyalty, commitment. Hey, I trusted that you were going to bring this value to the table, that I'm bringing my value to the table. When is my payday coming? So a man that's going to have higher value coming into this situation now, right? And he wants that value of yours, right? Why would he have to wait? He's bringing more value than your last man.
I mean, I guess I would have to, like, actually trust that he is bringing those things.
Let me ask you this then. You're saying that you're not as intimate with your current man.
Mm-hmm.
What started it, you think? Do you think it was his end that he's not providing, or was it your end?
I mean, I'm not saying I'm a perfect person. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there was things I did that might have contributed. But it really kind of started when, like, we were just fighting a lot. Like, we've been fighting a lot. And I always feel like it would come out of, like, left field. Like, it wasn't like something like very cut and dry, like, you did this and that upset me. It would be like, hey, I'm just existing and now you're mad and I don't know why.
Who, your man?
Yeah.
Was doing that? And
Yeah.
what was he mad about?
Fuck if I know. Like literally, like, me breathing would piss him off.
Wow.
So I've gotten to the point where it's like that safety, that security. I don't trust you. Like, I don't trust.
Can you try to remember the words that came out of his mouth? What did he say to you specifically?
Like, when we were fighting.
Yeah, like what did he blow up to you about? Because obviously he wasn't emotionally intelligent at that time,
No,
right?
no.
Correct. So once again, remember we had that bubble where, like, what did he say?
God, there's been like a lot. I mean, just basically, like, he always like gets like, there's a lot of insecurity, so he always thinks like there's someone else, or I'm doing something else, or talking to someone else, or.
And were you?
No.
Okay.
No, and I mean, like, sometimes I'm like, fuck, maybe I should be just like make this argument valid.
Do you really respect a man that has those insecurities?
No.
There you go.
Okay. All right. And so how would he blow up on you? Just like say, what the hell are you doing? I think you're sleeping with some other guy. I saw your phone. I mean, did he like go through your phone? Did he check your DMs and he saw DMs from other dudes?
I mean, like if we're talking on the phone and like if you hear the zzz, like a text message or any notification, does not even necessarily a text message, and then it's like, who's texting you? Like, sometimes it is a text. Most times it's not another dude. Most times it's one of my friends.
Yeah.
You know, or it is a notification.
Now, was this during a period that him blowing up? Was this during the period that you were not being intimate with one another, or was this during a period where you?
It started when we were, still like when I thought things were still going well, and when like we were still intimate, and I was, and I think that's why things turned, or I should say, started deteriorating, because I slowly felt like I was like walking on eggshells. Like, I don't know when you're going to be mad, or why, what's going to cause you to be mad, or,
Who initiated the intimacy normally? Was it you? Was it him?
Probably mostly him.
Okay.
So he would come to your place home and be like, hey, let's have sex, or would he just kind of like rub you, start like touchy-feely, kind of doing that stuff?
Netflix and chill or whatever,
And then the times that it started getting bad, were you just like, kind of in essence, like, preventing his advances, or was it like he just stopped doing it altogether?
I mean, yeah, kind of, well, it mostly started with me just kind of like, like shrugging him off, or.
And was this potentially around the same time that, you wanted more and he wasn't bringing these values that you expected?
Probably. I mean, like, really, all of this it's kind of like coming, it's been pretty recent developments, and as far as like me, like really starting to kind of like hone in onto what is it that I want and the kind of guy I want. Like, that's all. Like, I mean,
but you would say the time frame is about right? Like, you guys were intimate at first. There was this kind of this physical attraction between the two of you, and then obviously you got to the point where you wanted a little bit more, right? You wanted a little bit more commitment. You wanted a little bit more what's going on with this relationship. So you stopped kind of, in essence, pushing away his advances for the sex. And then he started kind of getting blowing up, kind of getting aggressive from you?
No, I think,
Or was he
I
was
think
already that
it,
way?
Like, yeah, kind of.
Argumentative.
Yeah.
So it wasn't around the same time. He was
No,
already
yeah,
this.
I would say like the arguments and the like random blow ups started prior
Prior to
me starting to be like, maybe, and now like that, and that's why I said a little while ago, like now, like I don't even know if those things like the commitment and the house and all that are things that I want.
Yeah.
Because
Go ahead, Yen. Sorry.
Do you ever feel like you and your current partner right now discuss like your vulnerabilities, like your emotions, like how you're feeling, and like your triggers and stuff like that? Because he has to be triggered by something. Like
Yeah.
usually when guys just blow up out of nowhere, they're triggered by something. But so much of the time, guys don't even know how to put their emotions into words. I think I just realized that's like the value I'm looking for in a guy as listening to this is
But
the value of like being aware of your own triggers and emotions, like, and having the will to want to communicate to the other partner about how you're feeling, because most guys don't have that willingness to like want to communicate like why they're feeling what they're feeling. Even if they're saying like, I don't know why I'm feeling what I'm feeling, that's a start. That's still like a start.
Yeah.
Do you feel like sometimes you and your partner like lack that?
Yeah, I mean, we
aspect?
definitely have breakdowns in our communication, like for sure, which is why I think like we've kind of gotten to this situation.
Do you really want him? Do you want to solve the problem that he's having with him, or would you rather have him solve the problem himself?
Yeah, that's the thing right there is that, and that's where I'm at, where I'm questioning myself is this relationship still worth it to me for me to walk through this with you and we can come out of it on the other side? Or is this where I'm like, all right, buddy, it's been a good ride.
Question.
Go
How
ahead.
long you guys been dating?
Almost 4 years?
4 years?
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say usually it's the honeymoon period after a year.
And he's never
Yeah.
popped the question. He's never.
Oh, he's tried.
He's tried,
He's
but
tried.
but you refuse.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, not necessarily. Yeah, I refuse.
You refuse. And
I
why,
refused.
why did you refuse?
Because I mean, I guess I knew that something was missing. That wasn't.
What was missing, Jasmine?
What was missing?
What was missing?
That sense of security.
Okay.
Yeah. That like, and just knowing like we're
So-
all gonna be okay.
So what if I told you? What if I told you that this guy, and I don't know him. I'm not trying to diss him. It's just the reality, right? He's a lower value guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a lower value guy, financially wise, specifically, right? He got the sexual access from you at a fairly low cost. You were in a bad place, right? You gave it up at a fairly low cost. Now you're expecting more. But he knows in his damn heart that he can't give you more. He can't. He's not qualified. He doesn't have the money, but he doesn't want to lose you. He doesn't. Because most men, as much as we want to cheat, as much as we want to have sexual access with other women, we can't, right? And so he's like, man, I have sexual access with this woman that I do care about, but I know I can't give her what I want, what she wants. And I want to do the right thing. I think men love idealistically. We want to do the right thing. We want to be the provider. We want to be the protector. But he can't do it. And because he's insecure, right? There's that word again, right? Because he's insecure in his deficiencies, he's blowing up on you, right? And that's what's going on,
Yeah.
right? And the sad truth is that he's never going to be that man.
Yeah.
Right? Because we talked about this last week, right, guys? A man who has his shit together would never show any signs of emotion. I hate to say it. Emotional intelligence, to me, when it comes to the man, is not showing any struggle. It's literally coming home and just like, hey, I got my shit together. Let's have sex. That's great. Bills are taken care of. You don't got to worry about anything. You don't
But
gotta
that's
do
our
much.
generation, not theirs.
I would say it's every generation.
It should be every generation, but nowadays, the way they are, Males don't. They show their emotions. That's what makes it dangerous.
But we'll get to this because I agree with you, Pete. Men are kind of told. No, men are told not to show their emotions, but we're also told to act a certain way now. Right? Yeah, we're told to act a certain way now, but we're still told not to show our emotions, and that's the problem.
Oh, they're telling you to show the emotions now.
No, we're
Toxic masculinity.
Oh, that.
yeah, no, that's my
being
point.
Man.
No, not all of it.
No.
No, like your guy, he can't have this conversation in public and not be ostracized from it. And the truth is, because it's still the truth, because you're weak. No man wants to hear this. I don't want to have a conversation with your man.
Oh no.
Right? Like if your man came up to me like, hey, you know, I'm about to lose my girl because I can't fucking make this job. I can't become better. I can't work hard. I'd be like, fuck up, suck up, man. Go fucking get another job.
Yeah. Step on up. That's the truth.
There's no coddling when it comes to men. And that's what I'm trying to say. So when we say men's mental health, what we don't realize is that the answer to men's mental health is manning up. It's not being more emotional. It's really just figuring out our problem and fix it. That's the only way you're going to be emotionally intelligent. Because once you deal with it, then you're going to say, hey, I had a problem. I couldn't make enough money. You know how I dealt with it? I worked harder, bust my ass, got smarter, made more money.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I'm more attracted to my girl. She gives me sex. Win. Ding, ding, ding. We all win.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
So
So,
he's not willing to go step it up.
yeah. So he's scared to lose you. He knows he's not capable. And also, he also knows that there's other things too. I guarantee you, and this is not a diss on you, okay? Because this is just the truth. We talk about value, and we'll get into more values when we go to have this conversation down the road, right? He also understands that if his value gets higher, he might not know it right now, but he also understands that if his value gets higher, this is the problem, right? The problem is when your value gets higher as a man, you have more options. And when you have more options, you're going to want to go sleep with other women.
That's a fact.
Yeah. And
It is.
right. And it's like I would like for him, I mean, I wouldn't like for him to go out and sleep with another woman if we were still together. But to me, it's like if you were at that value or at that level and you had those options, but you still chose me.
But you would still want him monogamous to you.
Yeah.
Do you think
Because,
that's...
and then, I mean, and yes, I mean, we could argue that like I could also step up too and bring those things in.
Bring what things?
The things. The
Oh,
things.
come
The
on.
big things.
We know what thing, okay, women?
I mean, like, you know, like I could bring, I could, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't want to say like, if things were the way they are now and we just like, I'm like, okay, I'm just, like, we're going to start having sex every day, you know, or whatever. I don't think that would make him want to be better. I think he'll just be like, okay, great. Like, I'm good the way I am because I'm getting what I want, you know? And so there's, you know, it's like, but then I'm sitting here being like, well, if you did this, this, and this, then I would want to have sex with you more, you know? So it's like,
Yeah.
is that fair? You
What
know?
if I told you it was fair?
Okay.
And
well,
what if
that's what
and what if I told you that if he became a higher value man, if he actually did what he wanted to do, he probably would just have more sex with you, instigating with you. You wouldn't have to freaking bring it up. Because a man of that caliber, of that ambition, like you women always talk about, he has a drive. And the drive is not only financially, status, everything. The drive is to have a lot of sex. That also comes back to why most men cannot be faithful, because those men that have the high values that you guys want to have a lot of sex. So would you be okay with that if he became that high value man?
I mean, of course I want him to become a high value man, but I mean,
But you still want a monogamous.
yeah. So then that, to me, then there's where that other layer comes in, where it's like, you know, you have all these options, and you know, you want to have
But-
sex with all these people.
So then we go back to full circle to the beginning of this conversation. Do you think a man, who we know men have a hard ass time getting sex will bust their ass to get to that level, to be able to have sex with a lot of women, or even just a little more women than the average guy, right? Because we talk about only the top 5% of men can get women. And even out of that top 5% of men, they only score 10%, 20% of the time. So why would I climb this huge ass mountain to make it to the promised land and only drink from one well? Or only have one bushful of freaking fruit? When I not try the apples, the oranges, the bananas, I made it to freaking paradise. I worked my ass to make it to paradise. Why would I just turn around and go back?
Ultimately, you're trying all the fruit while you're going on your path. So
No.
by the time you get to your final path, it's
no.
a choice.
The analogy there doesn't stick.
Isn't paradise that one woman who is going to like be by your side?
What if I told you no?
Well, then,
That's true.
I don't know.
The value of a
Clearly, I'm
And
looking for
and
a
we will
unicorn
get
man.
we will get to what that what that one is. I think you
You're getting there.
you want that answer, but we'll get to that. But that's not what paradise is, right? That's different, right? So yes, and to not, the analogy that you say is wrong, because there is no fruit up that climb. We talked about this already. There is no fruit during this climb. I'm starving by the time I get to paradise.
That was back in the day.
Right?
Hard.
So when I get to that freaking mountaintop, I'm eating everything in sight because I'm starving my ass off, and I had to bust my ass to get to that point, right? So why would I be monogamous?
Do you try all the fruit and then find the one fruit you like a lot?
Potentially. Right? So who's more faithful, to spin off that answer? Who's more faithful? The man that has every fruit option and only chooses the one fruit, or the man that has access to no fruit and has to freaking just give you and just eat whatever scrapes are thrown to him? So who's more faithful?
Well, the one who would choose. If he's choosing.
Do you guys all agree?
No.
All the ladies? What do you think, Pete?
Well, you're saying he scraps. He's taking up the scraps. It's all
No. So
Yeah.
the man who has options, like
Options.
a table full of fruit.
Yeah.
And yes, sometimes he'll eat an apple.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll eat jackfruit, right? Sometimes he'll eat freaking durian, right? You know, some of the stinky stuff out there from my Asian brothers, right? Right?
But
Right?
the-
Right? Right?
I love durian.
Right?
Everybody likes
Right.
durian,
I
but
mean,
it
I
just
was
smells
thinking
weird.
in terms of analogy.
Yeah. Is that man more faithful? Because most of the time, 5 days out of the week, right, he'll choose freaking lychee or freaking rambutans. I don't care, whatever fruit. He always chooses this one fruit. But on the weekends, he'll eat durian one weekend. He'll eat freaking jackfruit another weekend, right? Or the man that has no access to any of that fruit, but literally just gets the freaking, the leftover fruit that the other men
Yeah,
eats.
because
So
he has no other option.
he has no other options.
Than to be faithful
Than
to
to be-
that one
Correct.
thing.
Correct. That's right. So do you guys all agree the man that has the bountiful amount of fruit, but then only chooses that one fruit most of the time is more faithful? Or do you guys think it's the man that has only...
Most of the time.
No.
I want to be all the time.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even you, though, we haven't gotten to what your value that you want him to commit yet, right? But there's still a value that you want him to commit, right? So have you had time enough to figure out what is that value
That you want.
him to commit to you?
Give me some quality time.
Sex?
I mean, like, quality time doesn't have to equate to like having sex. It could be like other aspects of physical intimacy, like hold my hand, cuddle me, just like kind of lay on the couch and chill. We don't have to be having sex. Like in terms of intimacy, like physical intimacy can be more than just sex. I know when you say physical intimacy, everybody always thinks of sex first, but like there's other things that's non-sexual.
So would you be this quote unquote physical intimacy with this man who's 5'6", average height, right? Average weight, right?
I've been there.
Not of
Average
looks.
height and average weight, and
No, but this man that I'm talking about, right?
I've been
Just
there.
just living in an apartment, right? Living in an apartment, no nice car, no nice freaking things, right? Just your average Joe. Would you be physically cool with that? Just he's holding you and that's all you want him to bring to the table?
It's more than that. It has to be like how well I get along with you. That alone is hard to put into tangible words. Like, how do you define get along? Like with the person, it's just like, can our personalities mesh? Can I talk to you easily? Do I feel that for me is like a value I look for. It's not a tangible value.
No trips, you're not going on any trips once a year. You're not going on any freaking vacations.
I totally dated those people.
Yeah.
But
I mean, for me, it's like, can I go to the grocery store with you, and is it fun?
Yeah, I like doing that. Like, I like going to Costco.
Like quality time.
So how long would that be okay for you? Like, you just, like I said, sitting in this apartment, right? It's not gonna bring anything more.
Do we have goals? Like,
No, this man is average. He's not gonna be more than anything else. He's making this. He loves his freaking job as the manager at freaking Target.
Oh God.
Wow.
Right? Just an example.
He,
Very specific.
he loves his job as the freaking, your standard guy at the freaking this manufacturing factory, right? He puts together freaking stuff, and they pay him $50,000 a year to work at a freaking manufacturing plant. He just puts stuff together. Lives in an apartment, pays $1,500 a month rent in an apartment,
So
right?
he's content not leveling up.
Yeah, he's not.
Are you okay with that?
You make it unscathed. We're just starting with.
Because hey, we already talked about this. We already talked about the top 5% of man is not gonna do that because the top 5% of man has options. He's not gonna be monogamous to you, and everyone here says they want monogamy.
But so I guess maybe we're leading up to this. How do we get that man to be monogamous with you?
Well, then this is where we go back to the values, and once again, we have stated some values, but you guys have not stated the values that you want from this man. Nor have you guys stated or specifically stated the value that you would give to this man in return. So once again, what is the values that this man is supposed to bring for you? Which we've said some, but is that the values that you guys are looking for? And if it truly is the values that you guys are looking for, what are you giving to him in return? Because yes, to answer your question, you can get trust, loyalty, monogamy of this value, though. Of this value. I want to be very specific of it. Or these values from this man. But you're asking for the wrong values.
I think my brain has short-circuited at 9 p.m. trying to process it. But I feel like what initially attracts me to people is like their personality. Of course, I need some kind of goals. It doesn't have to be career-oriented, like leveling up in your career. You could be making enough to like live. But I just forgot what I just said. Oh my gosh.
No worries.
But
So.
like, I need some kind of goals. Like it could be like something, doing something novelty together, like taking a trip, trying some new experience together. I need something new. We can't just be doing like the same old routine the rest of our lives.
So
like, what is that value? I don't.
And so that kind of goes
new
to my
experiences together.
that goes to my question earlier. Do you think an average man could provide those things for you?
Go to trips all the time.
Yeah, not all the time. It doesn't have to be all the time for me.
Even once in a while. You think an average man that makes freaking... I'll break down the math for you guys, right? Because I feel like women sometimes don't think about math too much, right? $48,000 a year. Take home, that's really only like $3,000, $3,500 a month. You pay $1,500 in rent. Say you have a cell phone bill, car bill, right? Insurance, right? You're probably spending, and then you go out to eat every once in a while, right? So $2,500, $3,000 is spent, bam, right off the bat. You're only taking home $3,000 or $3,500 a month. You have nothing left over. You ain't saving no damn money for trips. You ain't buying no nice car.
Paycheck to paycheck.
Paycheck to paycheck. That's how most people live.
That's 48.
That's the majority of people, let alone
It
majority of
is.
men.
I'm still trying to understand that. Apparently, my perspective has been skewed for so long.
100%. 100%.
Okay, Liz,
You think? You think?
you're not meeting these, okay, Liz? You're meeting these. That's why, okay? So,
Because I never really went
You're
around
there.
those circles.
Yeah, there you go.
I never
Yeah.
really
So,
understood.
well,
so getting back to it, do you think you can really get those things that you're looking for in the man that you want with just an average man?
Probably not. I mean, I do want a trip, like, it doesn't have to be all the time, maybe like once or twice a year.
well,
But, like, I can do, it doesn't even have to be, like, far. It could be something simple, like, let's take a staycation, like, at a cabin around here. Or I want to try something new, like, let's try a new hobby together. Or, like, let's try to cook something new together. That's, like, the little things I'm looking for.
This is a diss on the men too. Like I said, I don't shame women for what they want,
Yeah.
and I tell men how it is too, right? Like all these guys, I hate to say it, are loser men. I mean, it is, because at the end of the day, if your objective is to get women and you're not getting it because you guys have all clearly stated that those are the type of men you ain't looking for, right? So by default, they're losing. Right, so I hate to say it. I don't want to diss my brothers out there that are in
guys
that
up your
position.
game.
I'm not shaming you guys. I'm just telling you guys the reality of what women are looking for, right? Do you think a man like that is going to want to go do an activity with you? Do you think a man like that is going to even be motivated enough to like go and let's go bike riding together. Let's go hiking together. Let's go kayaking together. You think a man that only works 40 hours a week, works 9 to 5, has a $40,000 an hour, a year job, do you think he's ambitious to do anything else with you?
Okay, if you put it that way, I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for in a partner. So no, nope. I need somebody who is willing to try new things with me, not just we're gonna do the same old routine every single day for the rest of our lives.
So to put it,
My brain is, I need some new experiences in my life, or it's gonna feel like what is the point of this if I can do this by myself?
So to put it bluntly, you're looking for a high value man. So once again,
that can pay your. You're not living paycheck to paycheck, at least, where you have nothing left.
that's still an above average man.
Yeah, okay, above average. Yeah, but
Right, so
you don't have to make it
Here,
six
here-
figures.
here's some stats, and Pete might know this, right? And I'll let you answer Pete here after this, right? But 15% of Americans, right? That's all Americans, right? Married men, gay men, women, lesbian, trans, whatever you want to say it, right? Make over $100,000 a year. 15%.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
15%.
It's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
The most recent stat.
Like I told you,
10% of people make over 150,000. So 10%. 10%. 5% is right around 240,000,
you can look it up.
and 2% is right around, I think, 350 to 400,000. 2%. Less than 2%. Okay.
That's why you get
So my
taxed
point is, right? An
whoa.
above average man is making 70 to 80,000. But that would still put him only in the top 20 to 25 percentile of earners, right? Not even in the top 15% of earners, right? Right? And that man still wouldn't be able to fulfill all the requirements of the modern woman.
Yeah,
Right?
but her stats
Well,
that
no,
she just came up.
This is not a diss on.
Based-
This is not a diss on.
Yeah.
This is all women, though. We've
Oh.
come to find out from this community
Yes.
and this channel, this is all women, and rightfully so. I'm not
It's
hating.
not average.
I'm not hating. I'm not hating on you women to want those preferences because there's a real truth behind it. There's a reason behind it. So I don't hate on it, right? But that's just the truth. So the point though is for this above average man that we keep talking about to high status man that we keep talking about. What are you guys bringing to the table for this above average to high average man?
To the women, most of them, it's the drive forward for helping the guy out. Like they're there to help,
I know, but we
but to
conclude.
keep us from
But we
cheating.
concluded this already. A
Yeah.
guy of that status
Oh, from that
doesn't
status.
need
Drive.
somebody
Yeah.
to
No,
drive.
he doesn't.
He's already doing it.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants.
Right. So,
But that's
once again, how are you? What's the value you're bringing to him to keep him around to get your monogamy, his monogamy? I'm sorry.
I'm kind of curious.
And what is that monogamy that he's giving you?
So I'm about to say, it's like when you're going on the stats on stuff like what she's asking for, that's not really that much to ask for. Cooking a meal. Well, yeah, okay, cooking a meal.
cooking together.
Yeah. Okay. We're just no. It's off the subject, but yeah. So, cooking a meal, like a staycation trip, that's actually doable for a regular like Joe Schmo.
Are you a high earner though? Above average from the stats that I just gave.
This is awkward.
You're in the top 10.
Why are you gonna say this? I'm on TV right now. I don't need anybody to know that.
So once again, you're the exception to the norm. Now we're talking about just an average to above average guy, right? $40,000 to $70,000 a year, $80,000. He cannot do these things, most of them, right? And on top of that, we've already determined that his ambition is not there to go kayaking with you, to go paragliding with you. Because if he was, he'd be making money. He would be using that ambition to go make money.
To drive.
He
right?
want to upgrade himself.
Yep, there you go. Bing, ding.
So now we've even concluded further that even the above average guy, you ladies don't want. So now we keep going back to the truth. The truth is, once again, only 5% of men are attractive to 100% of women. So what are you guys going to do for this 5% guy?
Oh, this is awkward. Well, this is because I'm a guy, so
He's like, okay.
Where like what I've kind of concluded to, just like through what I've been going through in my life right now, is I wouldn't ask them to bring something that I would be willing to bring too. So, and I mean like all the lists of the things, and so right now, like I can't bring all of those. Like I'm just not in the place where I'm bringing
like what
every single thing.
Like
I
resources,
mean, yeah, like I mean, like financially, like I'm not in the top 2%.
Do you think a man that's in the top 5% wants your resources?
No.
Nope.
I mean,
So why would you think that's something that you
he
would
doesn't care
have
about
to
that.
bring?
well, but then I mean, but would he want would he want a woman that had her own resources?
Do you think he would?
Maybe. I mean,
Nope, not really.
The thing is, if you got a guy like that, he probably don't want a girlfriend in the first place.
Yeah.
He's probably not going to be like,
What
you got choices.
We'll let you finish, Jasmine. But Pete made a good point. Why do you think? Because I disagree. I disagree. But why do you think a man like that doesn't want a girlfriend?
Let's see. Gets girl knocked up, 25 years. Divorce, half his shit. That's basic on every man out there. That's why a lot of people don't want to get married anymore, because they're really.
Do you think the top 10?
Like for example, you bust your ass. Like you said, we both came in a room, busted your ass. She came there with like $300. Now she gave it up with half of your
You
stuff.
think a woman who has found a top 5% dude that she really admires, love, and respect?
Didn't you see that soccer player woman? She divorced that guy, and he actually put all the stuff in his mom's name.
Yeah, but do you think he really? Once again, you ask a man is committed to. You think he was really committed to her?
He probably didn't get caught.
So that's my point. So he wasn't committed to her. So my point, but if it was truly commitment, if he really loved her and was really truly committed to her, and she really loved and admired and respected him, do you think
They would cheat on each other? No.
my point? No, my point is, we'll get to cheating a little bit. Do you think she would even want to leave his ass and take half his stuff?
That's the thing. No one knows that. No, they don't want to do that.
I would
will fall in
argue
love.
that a woman who is madly in love with a man like that, who is checking all her boxes, and he truly loves her and brought all these quote unquote values that we still haven't determined yet, but if he brought all these values to her, she would never leave him.
Yeah.
So my point is,
Till death do they part.
So my point is, your reasons for him getting half taken away from him, losing his kids, it wouldn't happen because he would have her.
But you're looking at the reason why somebody wants to get together, why they should stay together. The thing is, a lot of people don't want to get into that relationship. Like you said, a lot of guys out there aren't into getting a relationship or marriage because of the fear. Because the
why do you
statistics
think
on men and women getting divorced?
Why do you think men want to get together with women?
Well, some of it's wanting to think about marriage. Others is the emotional support, like the partner. A lot of guys are just for the sex.
Like I said, go ahead, Liz.
To recreate?
Like I said, the sex.
Not just sex.
Not
Yeah,
just sex.
not just
No.
sex.
To continue their line, like
That's
their
right.
legacy.
Some people won't. Yeah.
That's
Yeah, because you once again we got to debunk some of these things, right? And Liz
job.
jumped ahead. Thanks, Liz. You hit on the nail on the head. But do you think guys like that really need emotional support?
Once in a while, if they're pressured down hard, they're running that hard. Sometimes they break down.
What do you think that emotional support is?
Just to be there.
Be there how?
I don't know. I've not experienced that, so I'm like, I'm just going.
Okay.
Maternal nurturing.
Huh? Yeah, no.
Okay.
Because we're so feminine. And
Yeah.
So, huh?
No, think about it. The guy just wants to come home, even though he has a rough day. He probably just wants to vent to his woman. Hey, it was stressful, but I got my shit going.
Do you think a man really vents to a man like that caliber really vents to a woman? How do you ladies think that a man coming home to that type of lifestyle that he obviously does, how do you think he really gets the emotional support from you guys?
I don't know. My man doesn't really vent.
Yeah, so that's my point, right? A man who's that high of caliber just don't really vent. So how do you think he gets his emotional support? Because women always want to say this, right? Like, oh, he comes home, don't worry, I'll listen to his problems. I'll do. And we've already concluded from the last podcast that women can't fix men's problems, right? And nor do you guys want us to fix your problems. You actually find that less attractive. You actually find us that we're not capable. So, once again, how would a man of that caliber come home and get the emotional support from you?
I mean, I can't fix your problems, but I can listen to you and suggest things if that's what you're looking for.
Sure.
Or if you're just wanting somebody to listen to you, just to listen, that's totally fine. Because some people just want to vent to be able. People just want to vent so they can have someone to listen to them and validate like their feelings. A lot of the times they don't want advice, but if you want that suggestion advice, I'm there for that.
Yeah. Well, no,
If
we do.
you're a man who has no feelings, I wouldn't even consider dating you at all.
they have
Period.
feelings.
We do.
They do, but if you're unable to show it to me, that's not the type of person I want to date. Even if you're not a high caliber man, it's like that's a requirement for me to date you.
See, this is the problem with the current situation and the and the feminist lies and obviously women's, or not only just women, but our society's loss of what reality is. And what I mean by that, we got to go back to what is real, which is a man of that caliber is not going to have any emotional flaws. He has his stuff together.
Does he express his emotions, though, or he just kind of keeps it in?
He expresses his emotions. He does, but not in the way that you guys have thinking or have said that he expresses the emotions, right? He's not gonna go home and tell you, "Oh, babe, I had such a hard day at work today.
better not hear that shit.
I'm, can you just tell me that you love me? Can you just tell me that I'm not having a hard day? I can make through this. We'll be okay. Can you just tell me that? Do you think a man of that caliber is gonna come home and say that to his significant other or wife?
He better take care of his shit. That's what I say.
Hell to the no.
Nope.
So what is that man gonna come home to?
That's like a specific kind of like talking about your emotions. You can express it in different ways without sounding like that. Like
No.
like my world's breaking down kind of deal. It's just like, because I have friends who express emotions. It's not like in that type of way, but like
Friends though.
Yeah, friends.
Friends though. Not
partners.
potential
Maybe.
committed people that you find attractive.
Yeah, no, all those partners I've dated before have zero capabilities in expressing their emotions. And I'm done dating those kind of emotionally unavailable people. They're just emotionally not there. Even if they tried.
Too emotional is not good yet. Like a man's got you have to be tough. You got to suck it up. You got to take care of things. See, I was brought up in that type of role, right? Like with my parents, like my dad is the tough guy who take care of things, doesn't have emotional breakdown. If he has emotional breakdown and shows that weakness to his wife and kids, right? Then we're not going to respect him.
I think it's not particular like emotional breakdowns. Like anybody can have a breakdown. You can be strong without being cold. Like, you can have your shit together as a man without being emotionally unavailable, as in, like, you're not even open to expressing yourself. Like, that's what I grew up in, so that's not what I want.
So let me give you a hypothetical, right? Man comes home, he works 15, 16 hours a day. You don't see him the whole day, right? All your stuff is taken care of, right? Home, got your house, got your nice car, right? He comes home to you. He's done, working 15, 16-hour shift. He comes home, gives you a hug, kisses you on the cheek, squeezes your ass, right? And says, hey, babe, how's your day been, right? I had a tough day at the office, but everything's cool now, right? Hey, let's get some dinner, right? Let's watch some movies, hug each other, right? And then I want to have sex later. Would that be emotionally opening to you? Or is that not enough?
It's not enough. Feels kind of stunt. Like, I want to be able to have conversations, deeper conversations.
Okay, well, let's say he just talks to you.
From
Yeah,
that
let's say he
too.
talks to you, like, during the movie, he talks to you about, like, hey, world politics. Or let's say he talks to you about what's kind of going on with life and with, maybe his job. Maybe he tells you about, like, hey, something cool he did at his work. You tell him about something cool that you did today at your work, or freaking, you know what I'm saying? But he's not expressing any fear. He's not expressing any faults or, like, worries or troublesomes. Would that be enough emotional intelligence? Or would you need to really have him show some form of weakness?
Emotional intelligence isn't necessarily like showing that you have some kind of weakness. It's about understanding your partner's emotions too, and like reading like their bids for connection and just.
So I would argue that a man who is emotionally intelligent would show you just enough conversation, just enough emotional expression of love, of caring, of taking interest in your things without showing fear. Would you agree?
You don't have. Yeah, I'm fine. You don't have to be showing fear. Like you can show fear without kind of like breaking down.
Understood.
But
I agree with you. Okay, so we're getting to this. So, and would you not agree then that a man who's not emotionally intelligent would hold it in, blow up on you, and also from time to time, or maybe all the time, express these fears to you?
that's being emotionally unaware. When you blow up, that's not what I want.
So, would you say that the majority of your relationships in the past, was it the former or the latter?
Emotionally unavailable, just unaware, just completely blank. Just don't even know why you feel. You can't put into words, or even you can't even say I don't know why I'm feeling what I feel. It's just like a rock.
So what if I told you, once again, right, we get back to this, only the top 5%, 10% of men who have their shit together would treat you, right, like the former, where they come home, they hold you, they kiss you, they tell you everything's okay, babe. They have an intelligent conversation with you, ask you about your day. How's the kids? How was the kids' sports? How was your day going, right? Talk to you about these conversations, really care and express interest in what you were doing. But they would never express any fear. They would never say, hey, oh my God, I'm so, like I had such a hard day at work. Fuck that fool at work. I can't stand him. Like, no, there would be no conversations like that, right? He would be more emotionally intelligent than the other guy, right? Because you just agreed to me that the latter of like, oh my God, blowing up on you, or obviously keeping it all inside and not saying anything, is less emotionally intelligent, right? So my point, once again, it's the top 5%, top 10% of people that have their stuff together would only show so much, right?
He married a wife, not a therapist.
And this is the other problem. Well, no, this is also the other problem. We have already established that women cannot help a man fix their problems.
No,
Okay.
you can only fix your own problems.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so a man who goes and fixes his problem, right, is going to turn himself into the person that I just said, where he's not going to say anything fearful. He's not going to say any weaknesses, right? And he's not going to hold it inside. If he had something to say, he would tell you, right? He would express his love to you. But there would be no insecurity. There would be no fear of anything, right? So my point is, once he becomes that way, right, he's going to be less emotionally available in a way, right? Because he's conquered his fears, he's conquered his insecurities. So he's not going to express those things to you anymore. But he would express it emotionally through other ways. He would express it in his confidence towards you, right? And what he wants. Okay? I think that's the problem with most modern women is like they want, this is the problem. I'm going to be putting it blunt, and I don't want to diss the women on the panel, but the guys that you want to be more emotionally intelligent are loser-ass men. They were loser-ass men. That's why you want them to be better. You want them to be more. You want them to be more emotionally intelligent. But they haven't fixed their problems yet. Right? So you started out with loser-ass men, and you want these loser-ass men to become better men. They're not. The top 5% men would already have their shit together. They would already have their shit. You wouldn't have to tell them what to do. You wouldn't have to tell them to do more. You wouldn't have to tell them to be emotionally intelligent. So it's your choice for choosing an inferior man to begin with. But this is the dilemma. We keep going back to it again, right? So once again, this top 5% of man who has all his shit together, he wants to sleep with other women. But you guys don't want you want monogamy from this top tier man, right? You want monogamy. Well, we'll get you, because you want to be able to sleep with other men too, though, right? And you know, I've already said that a top tier man who's made it to that level, he's not gonna want his woman to sleep with another a man, because we need to finalize this as well. What value are you bringing to this man who has conquered the mountaintop, starved himself to finally make it to paradise, right? And now has access to all the fruit, and he's willing to commit something to you. You guys just don't know what that is. But what are you guys willing to commit to him?
So why?
Yeah.
We're thinking.
We know the answer.
It is a good question.
We know the answer, but we just want you guys to answer it.
Yeah. Well, if you guys don't want to answer it, I can answer it. You guys know?
Yeah.
Pete, you know?
I'm tired.
No,
I
it's,
like
it's
just
late.
throwing out there, like, you know, like, I kind of just have to do that.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, like the man would be willing to like risk his life
Yeah.
for this woman, and I would say that if all the things were aligned, I would do the same for him.
But do you think that's really what your role is? If someone broke into the house, are you going to
Well,
be the
no,
one?
but I mean, like, I'm saying, like, I guess, I don't know. I guess it goes back to like me saying,
Let's debunk this because I don't think you're getting where you want to go because if you and your children was freaking about to get drowned in a boat and your man had to sacrifice his life to save you guys, would you put yourself at risk to save his life and the kids, or would you prefer that he risk his life and die for you and the kids?
sure, yeah,
Right?
Your children come first.
Yeah.
You and the children would come first,
Yeah.
right? So it's not the same. You wouldn't put your life on the line for that.
But the thing is that it's not his kids. If they were his kids, then he's trying to save his wife and his kids. Therefore, to somebody to take care of him. So if she dies or if she does it for him, then she still has her kids.
There's something about that, 100%.
Yeah, if you're looking at Joe Schmo, this is their kids. I came to this party when you had your kids. And
Well, I was going to elaborate on that situation, but that's a very specific situation to you and other single moms out there that has, dating somebody that's not their biological kids, right?
Because I know of a guy that, he drowned, but the woman had kids too, so.
Yeah. But I would argue that a lot of men still love idealistically, and so if you found a man that loved you like that, and you were able to provide him once again, this value.
The femininity.
That's one. Okay,
That's one.
that's
Yeah.
one. And what is part of this femininity?
Being a female and the
My
thing-
affection.
Yeah, like the things that females have to offer. Sex. I feel like that's just the reoccurring theme here.
Fidelity.
Fidelity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fidelity is the sex, right? The promiscuity, the being able to obviously rear children, right?
The nurturing.
Right.
Yeah.
Femininity encompasses like caring, nurturing, kindness, and obviously being able to, obviously take care of someone in that respect, right? And there's one last thing that you're failing to forget that women also bring to the table. It's very simple.
Kids?
No, we said that. We said child rearing, right? But
Yeah.
what's the thing that attracts us to you guys? What's the first thing
Looks?
that looks beauty,
Yippee.
right? Right. So
Suck when they have a lot of custom work to them.
so hey, some people like it, some people I get it. Natural is better, but right, some people prefer.
No one ever knows.
Yeah,
nowadays.
yeah. Some of us okay. So my point is, now that you know the values that you're supposed to provide to this man, right, and you know that the values are given to you for the most part up front, right? Because we talked about how women get their value up front, and men have to bust their ass to get their value, right? Right. So do you guys still think cheating is the same for men and women? Right? If it's your value is fidelity, right? Your value is the sex. We just talked about it. I don't think once have you guys ever said that the man was supposed to bring sex to the table. The only reason why you guys even respect his sex, because he's not a stranger, is because he brought all these other values to the table. But sex wasn't his value. So
I do
sex,
need sex though.
you do need it.
So, yeah.
But you need sex with a man that checks
you
off
know.
the boxes with his values high enough that you will respect and love. So it's not the sex that his value is bringing, but your sex definitely is the value that he wants, right? So it's once again, is physically cheating the same for a man and a woman then? Because I'm not bringing the sex to the table as the man. I brought everything else. I brought my attractiveness, my looks, my height, my physical capability, my protection, my provision, my riz, my freaking game. I brought all those things to the table. And I'm only expecting something. Right?
Maybe we should talk this. Because remember the conversation we always have. You bring everything that G's talked about bringing to the table. You bring to the table. You are a girl.
I'm
an exception. No, yeah, you are an exception. But what brings it? What does the guy bring? Because honestly, you have all that, and you can pretty much tell.
Now she's
She's putting
reversing
you on
it.
the spot. No, so I want
This is the thing.
yeah,
She can actually answer that.
I want to find. I'll let Liz answer too, because now that you guys know, you might not agree or agree with what I'm saying, right? But it's the beauty, the femininity, right? Acting like a lady, being feminine, being like worthy of protection, right? Because that's the problem with the current women is that they act like men, right? They're not feminine, so we don't want to protect that.
We're just
Wow.
talking about straight people, right?
Yeah, we're talking about straight people.
Straight, okay.
Yeah, right. Why
people
would
on
I
straight.
want to protect a man, right? Right. But you notice that when females are very feminine, acting very feminine in their nature, men will die for that, right?
Very damsel in distress.
Right. Exactly.
And
Right.
I
There's a
knew one girl that was like her boyfriend was picking the fights and the girl was fighting the battles.
Yeah.
yeah, that's not a bad situation to
No.
be in. Yeah, you don't want to be. So the beauty is what gets us in the door, right? We're attracted to your guys' looks initially, right? It's your femininity and obviously your nurturing, your caring that keeps us around, right? Because it's not if you act like a dude and you start becoming like, how man all these kids nowadays, yo bro, hey bro, right? I cannot stand that,
just
right?
cannot stand
When
it.
women talk like that. And then, of course, that leads to your guys' fidelity, right? Your sex, right? And we'll talk about the reason for that, right? But it's your guys' sex that we want, right? Not our sex, right? So that's the value that we want in this exchange. So whose loyalty in that regard is more important? Because we talked about trust, loyalty, commitment. So whose loyalty in that aspect is more important? The man or the woman?
In in terms of sex?
Yeah.
The females.
Bam, bam.
It took a long time to get to that answer, but we finally got to that answer, right?
I know
So
what the answer was.
so do you guys all agree now that it's not the same for men and women, or do you guys still think it's the same?
No, not
I mean, I've never agreed, but yes.
Yeah, you never disagreed, yeah. But yeah, what do you think? Do you agree still, or agree now? I'm sorry, or disagree still that it's not the same?
Okay, it's different. Yeah. But at the end of the day, cheating is still cheating. I consider that.
Okay.
And there is a difference.
We'll get into it. We'll get into why women have such an issue with it. We touched on a little bit on it at the last podcast, but we'll get into why. So you still think it's a little bit different now? I swayed you a little bit different now? Okay.
At the end of the day, cheating is still cheating.
You still be upset. You'd still be upset if your man cheated on you physically with another woman.
Happened to me before, so I understand it.
I know. Got it.
Multiple times. So
Let me ask you this. If he was providing everything for you, right? He's this high value man financially, fitness wise too. I know your first man was kind of short, but height's not a huge thing for you. But let's say you did get a more physically capable guy that had everything, checked all your boxes physically, financially, and status wise, because we left out status for the men's value, guys, right? Because we talk about all the time why women love status, because it validates the first two values, right? Because if you're physically capable, handsome, you're going to be able to accomplish more things than a shorter, ugly dude's going to be capable, right? And then, of course, if you're financially capable or obviously have those resources, that means you're competent, that you've accomplished something, right? You can't get money, you can't get resources without accomplishing something. No one's going to give you something for nothing. And then, of course, with those accomplishments comes confidence, right? Because you've done it, you know how to do it, and you did it. I just won the prize, right? I made money. I'm confident in doing that now. And with all those things comes status. There's a reason why women love guys, and they don't like to admit it, but they love guys that are attractive to other women, right? Because they have all the check marks hit that says that they are qualified. Whether they're the celebrity, whether they're the athlete, right? Whether they're a freaking famous person, right? Blue check mark on Instagram. That's the reason why all those validation things are saying that they have been filtered by women, by society, that these men are high value men. Okay, that's why women like those statuses, okay? Because it checks off all those boxes. So if that man that you were with had all those things checks off, would you be less inclined to be upset that he cheated on you physically?
If I was monogamous still, like back then, yeah, no, I'd still be upset.
Okay, but now?
Now, I would still be upset from my dynamic right now.
Okay.
Because it's something... You broke an agreement we had.
Well,
which is...
Well, what if he didn't... Like I said, what if he came in with that agreement? What if he came in and said, hey, you know, I like you, I love you, but I want to have sex with you, but I want to have sex with all these other women too. If he was honest with you, emotionally, intelligently honest with you, would you accept it? Would you say, okay, cool, this man checks off all my other boxes? Would you allow it to happen?
Yeah, but I'm going to go and do the same because I'm not stuck in a monogamous lens anymore.
Okay.
Like,
do you think you'll ever find that man, this unicorn that we speak of?
I mean, unicorn has a totally different meaning in polyamorous world, but in our podcast terms, I don't know, maybe. If not, I'm totally fine. Like, being independent as myself too. I don't want to feel like I'm chained to somebody just because of like their status and their money. And
would you respect this man? Just out of curious.
Who
a man who has all these values that you find attractive enough to commit yourself to him. Would you respect this man if he allowed you to sleep with other men?
I still respect him. I don't feel like that would deter like my respect for him. because
The only reason why I bring that up is because there's going to be this level of connection that you've already alluded to. You've already admitted to. Because you can't have sex with strangers.
yeah,
Right? You got to have some type of connection with with a man to have sex with them. Do you think that you respect that man that you say you're committed to less because to sleep with these other men, you would need to have a connection to them as well?
yeah, they don't come very often to have for me and having that connection. I mean, I also there are a few times where I find men attractive. Like I know you enough, but not like not a total stranger, but like I know you enough where I could just sleep with you, but I don't really want a relationship with you. Like,
And
like
would you?
I feel like the guy sometimes where I could like sleep with you, but I don't want to date you kind of deal. Like I'm still able to do that.
Do you think your man that you're committed to you would feel better about that or worse about that?
It depends if I'm dating like a monogamous person or not, or like also polyamorous person. If
Do you think a polyamorous person can really truly be committed to you though?
commitment can mean different things if you see it from a monogamous
Do
societal
you think this man
standpoint.
would die for you?
I want to say he would for like whoever one of his partners are at that time or present, but that's hard to say. But from how I see it,
Can a
It's-
man who is polyamorous and if it is the value of his sex, right? We've already talked about it. It's not the value of his sex that's important to you. So it's something else. It's obviously his other values, which we've already established, right? It's all his other values, fitness, finance, and fame, right?
personality.
Well, it comes with that, right?
Yeah.
It comes with that whole package because having accomplishments, having confidence, that's how you have game. That's how you have personality, right? If he is only giving, well, let's take this back. If he's only giving sex to these other women, right? And he's committed to you on all the other values, right? What value do you think he wants from you 100%?
That's something I wonder from other couples too who are polyamorous. I'm like, because some are asexual, they don't have sex. That's not a thing. And then you also have people who are called solo polyamorous, which means none of their partners are their primary partner. You are dating yourself. You don't want to live with them. You don't want to ascend this relationship escalator, which entails moving in together, having kids, like getting married. You don't climb that ladder. It's like a totally different dynamic. So I'm sitting here wondering, like, what do those people, what kind of values do they see in their partners? Because obviously marriage is not one of them, because they don't want to get married. They don't want to live together, nor like.
Is that something that you want though? That what those other people have?
It'd be nice to live with a partner. Like, I don't know who down the line, if it comes up, that's something to discuss. But I can't say for sure.
And then my
If
question to you too
A partner
is,
would die for me because I don't even know if I want to die for them. But at that moment, though, if someone's shooting at them, I'm pretty sure I'm going to like jump in or something.
yeah, but do you think it's the woman's responsibility to bring that value to the table? That
Like protection?
She has to die for the man.
No.
It's just sad if he does it. You do
Yeah, and would you respect a man that would want you to put yourself in harm's way for him?
That's not his job. If he does that, you're not taking him in.
Yeah. And then same thing too, like, you know, if this man is polyamorous and he's giving other women his values, not just sex, would he really be truly committed to you?
There are specialists and teachers who talk about commitment, because commitment in polyamory doesn't necessarily mean like the monogamous framework of commitment, which is how monogamous people see commitment as you're committed to only me, like me and only me, like one person kind of deal. Being loyal isn't like having sex with just them. I've had to learn to like see it from a different standpoint, like what commitment
I'm
means.
just talking strictly
Yeah.
values. I'm not
Like-
talking about
Like what kind of
know,
values, like the financial, the resources.
Well, that's my point. I mean, if he's polygamous, in this relationship with you, that's polygamous, and he's giving all these women his values as well too. You obviously have a contention with that because you said you wouldn't like that, right? And you wouldn't like it if he was sleeping with other people as well too, right? You said that if he was sleeping with another, because you've been cheated on before, right? So he was cheating, and we've already established that only men that can get sex, they have to bring these other values to the
the
table. They're not
money.
gonna get sex just free willy-nilly, right? So I see why you have a contention with it, because they have to provide these women all these values before they can get the sex from them, right? So my point though is he truly committed to you then if he's given all these women all his values?
Yeah, because you can be committed to more than one person.
Okay.
And
you would be okay with that?
yeah, because I don't want to force somebody to be boxed into their emotions if they actually feel something for a different person, which I have also felt before. Like feeling things for other people while you're dating someone. It's like, are you really monogamous with me because you truly want monogamy? Or are you just monogamous because society says you got to be monogamous?
So could I argue then that you don't want commitment then? Because what values are we committing then? I'm not committing
it's my
my
commitment's a little bit-
values to you. You're not committing your values to me. There is no commitment.
I guess my form of commitment is a little bit different, as in like I'm committed to like understanding you. I'm committed from a different framework of commitment. Like I'm committed to say like giving you my time if you do choose to be my partner. I'm committed to like giving you my time. I'm committed to working on our boundaries, respecting each other's boundaries. I'm committed to seeing you for who you are, however you may want to show that I respect you as a person. It's like, I feel like everybody I talk to, when they talk about commitment, it's always about like these.
But do you not see the contradiction here? Because my issue with this is that a man who's willing to commit that to you, right, would want that same commitment in return. And so we cannot be polygamous, because I would have to give all my values to you, and I would expect all your values in return.
What are those values again? I'm like falling half asleep.
Yeah, tangibly, they're obviously my fitness, right? You are obviously physically attracted to me in some form or matter, right? My finances or resources that could provide you the lifestyle, the experiences that you talked about, right? And obviously with that comes status and fame that will lead us to obviously opportunities, maybe get us into certain doors, maybe get us into certain places that we couldn't get to if we were just normal people, right? And then of course, that with that comes protection as well. I'd be willing to die for you, and obviously, put myself in harm's way for you, right? And in return, right, of course, I would obviously expect you to be beautiful all the time, keep your physical appearance up all the time. I would expect you to be feminine at all times, right? Be nurturing, be caring, be kind all the time, right? Not act like a boss babe, not act like a man. And then, of course, fidelity. That sex is mine and only mine. But you also see where I never said fidelity on my side. There was no sex on my side. So my sex I could give away as long as it's not taking away from my other values. So that's, to me, is commitment. I've committed all my values to you. I expect your values to me. So how could I allow another man to sleep or take my value?
I can't put it into words very well, but I know Seattle locals who are polyamorous and who are in committed relationships, but their definition of commitment is different.
I see that now.
Yeah.
Obviously, I see that now. But I would argue that there is no commitment.
And they would argue back differently because it's always been a hot topic.
Yeah.
That they
It's
argue
levels
against.
of commitment, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah.
could buy a cup for $3,000 versus I can buy a cup for $1. What's the level of commitment, right? What took more to buy $3,000 versus $1? There's levels of commitment. I get that.
In this dynamic, it's always
But would they die for each other?
that. I don't know, because I don't know if I want to die for anybody.
Well, it doesn't make
like-
sense from the woman's perspective. We've already established that the woman's not supposed to die for the man, but would the man in that relationship die for the woman?
Maybe I see just things a little bit different. I'm like,
Yeah.
like
And then-
this masculinity, like you expect
and
men
then
to die for you, but I don't.
I think I would argue as well too that most women, I'm not saying all, and you can have your, everyone can have their own opinion, of course. Not everyone. Some people can be exception to the rules, right? But I would say most women want that commitment. Most women don't want this
Like the time, the
half-assed commitment that you're
resources.
talking about. Most
Most
women
women
want.
don't.
Most women want a man of value that they love, admire, respect, that are willing to die for them and give them all their commitment. That's the commitment that ultimately we're talking about. Loyalty, trust. We're not talking about half loyalty. I'll give you 80% trust. I'll give you 90% of my loyalty.
Dang, there's like whole posts that
You
went
know?
through this. Like they went through the whole terms of loyalty, commitment, and all those other terms. I got to bring this up. We need a part
but
two,
it's obviously it's also a reason why they're an exception to the rule, right?
Yeah.
Right? They're not the norm, the majority.
Everybody wants the exception to the norm. That's what people want.
No, I disagree. I think everyone, and this is the reality too. That's the reason why I don't believe in morality too much. I'm not a super religious person like, that I used to be, right? Because I understand the truth now, okay? And the reason is because most people don't qualify for that commitment, right? Hey guys, we talk about this on the channel all the time, right? Like I say it all the time. I diss on what, I don't diss. I just say, I state the reality. Most men aren't qualified for most women. Right? And so you guys have two options, actually three options out there, right? You can either become this top percentage of man that most women will find attractive and potentially commit to and actually love, admire, respect, right? Or you can be the remaining 95% and not get that, right? Or you can freaking fool yourself, right? Live in a polygamous relationship, right? Live in freaking some matrix where like, hey, it's cool, we'll be a 50-50 relationship. You pay half, I pay half, right? And live in this freaking matrix of a structure where the women don't really respect the men. The men are super insecure. They're not becoming the best man that they can become, right? So my point is that unfortunately the majority of people want the commitment, but the majority of people cannot get it. Now, if you understand that truth, what are you going to do about it? That's what this channel is about.
Yep.
Right? That's what this channel is about. It was exposing the truth and say, hey, you know the truth now. We've given you guys the Matrix analogy, right? You've taken the red pill and now you've seen that the world is a battery, right? Humans are a battery, right? What are you going to do with this information now? Right? Most people walk away. Most people say, hey, fuck it, I can't do it. Most people are like Cypher, right? In that movie, they say, hey, plug me back into the Matrix, right? Lie to me and just plug me back into the Matrix so that way you can tell me that a steak tastes like a steak again, right? Or some of us that we want to save, and this goes back to our channel, guys. I'm trying to save you guys out there that are thinking of self-deletion. You're thinking of reason why your life is a piece of shit, right? You can't freaking get women. You can't do what you need to do. You can't freaking have the outcomes that you want, right? Now that you know the truth, what are you going to do about it? Right? Are you going to step up and be the man that all these women want? Or are you just going to go better yourself and walk away? And I would argue, we'll have another show about that because the show is obviously getting long and everyone needs to get home. But I would argue that that's not a win either. Men that walk away, men that are incels, men that understand the truth even, but just say, hey, screw it, I don't want to deal with women. That's not a win either.
Nope.
Okay?
Life will be lonely.
Right.
Just telling you that.
Correct.
Okay. I should wrap it up, honey.
Okay, so we'll have another one. But hey, how about final thoughts? What do you guys like about the show? What do you guys think? Or if you have a question for us, anything like that before we end the show.
Thanks for tickling my brain.
Okay.
I love it.
Thank you. No, thank you for being open and honest. And I really respect your accountability. Like at least you don't sugarcoat, hey, making excuses for yourself.
Yep.
I really like the questions that you ask.
Thank
I
you.
may not have questions or answers for them, but I like how it makes me think. I still would be hunting for that unicorn, if you say,
Yeah.
as you put, but
There's someone out there.
He might be out there. Just the
Yeah.
chances are very slim. And like I said, just think long and hard about what would you bring to him in return. You know,
I'm gonna just take my chances. If I'm 40 and I'm still single, I don't care
Yeah,
because
there you go.
I'm gonna make my own money.
I'll leave you with one question
Yes.
before I let you go. Do you think you're more successful planning, working hard toward that goal, than just leaving it up to chance?
Working towards the goal, like actively going out to
Yeah,
sea.
like if you're a business owner, you work, right, and you have your own things outside things that we talk about, right? Do you think you'd be more successful if you planned that and say, hey, I'm gonna do my business this way, I'm gonna freaking make sure my business is structured this way? You think you would have a better outcome, or would you just be like, oh, I'm just gonna leave it to chance? You know, maybe today I'll film this, maybe today I'll write this, maybe today I'll just call, maybe today I'll just sleep in all day. Do you think you'll have a better outcome if you actually worked hard towards that goal and actually planned towards that goal, or just leave everything up to chance?
I think right now, I mean, planning my future, of course, yes, but like planning in terms of like dating people, I'm not really particularly interested in dating or going out to find somebody to date right now because I'm very content with
So do you
myself.
think you'll have the outcome that you want if you don't plan for it?
Maybe in the future, maybe I'll plan for it. I have met some people locally just by chance, just randomly out of the blue. Like, I'm like, what the hell? What? Where'd you come from? I mean, I don't like them, but it was cool to meet them out and about.
Okay.
Fair enough. Okay.
Just randomly. I'm like, cool. But as of right now, maybe in the future, I'll plan to like go out or like do apps or go out and do more hobbies or whatever. But right now, I'm just content with myself.
Okay.
Like, I don't need anybody right now.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
Okay. Well, I would say
But planning for my career and stuff is where I'm at.
that's my point, and I think most women need to focus or realize that the man that they want is no different than the career that they want, right? The man that they want is this high-value man that wants something in return, and if you don't know what that is, or if you don't know, you know what, if you know what it is, but then you're not working towards building yourself to that woman, why would he want you? You know,
It's harder.
so. Pete, what about yourself?
Okay.
I'm tired.
Pete's brain has been fried.
Pretty much. I'm working tomorrow, so.
Okay, fair enough. Well, how'd you like the show, at least?
It's interesting.
Interesting. Okay.
I was like, man, I was expecting to like roast somebody. Pete's tired.
Part 3.
Yeah, Pete was tired.
The three. All right. What about yourself, Liz? Any last comments, thoughts, questions?
She was quiet.
Hey, she's in a good relationship, man.
Yeah. She's
But she's experienced most of the conversation.
And I'm, what I realized, I'm the exception to a lot of this. So a lot of this doesn't really apply to me. And even if it does, even if I make more than my man or whatnot, like, I'm not spending my resources. I still expect him to, pay for everything. And
We can
whatnot.
talk about this on 3, okay? Pete needs to sleep, okay?
We'll
Stay
go
tuned
down.
for part 3.
We'll go down the Liz.
there's part
We'll go
three
down
for
the Liz rabbit hole in part 3. Yes.
Yeah, let's go down the list on 3.
What about yourself,
Okay.
Jasmine? Last thoughts of this show?
It's been fun. Definitely made me kind of think about things a little bit differently. Like, as we kind of stated, like, I am also kind of in a different situation. Like, I think if I was just a single woman out here, without kids, my views of how I would approach a relationship would probably be very different than how I'm approaching it now.
You think so? You think it would be different?
Yeah, I think so.
You don't think men?
Or maybe how men would approach me too, because they're not just coming to me; they're coming to my kids, right?
So, what type of man would approach you then? You think?
The kind of man I got,
Okay.
which like I guess
I
it's,
can't mind.
I have to give him credit for that he saw me, he knew right off the bat, like, I have kids, and he knew what he was getting. Like, he knew that this is there was no illusion that, oh, I'm gonna have like this like fun girl. We're just going to go off and have fun and have all this sex. And we're, you know, like she's got 3 kids, you know.
But can I play devil's advocate? Could I say that in a way he did get what he wanted?
In a way, yeah.
So he got what he wanted. So do you think he really was the man that was willing to commit to you?
Not in the terms that we have been discussing.
Okay.
Like, you know, because like we've just uncovered all of the things. And, you know, and then I have shared like those things are not being met for me.
Yeah.
So you want a positive outcome, right? I want a positive outcome for you as well too, and other women in your relationship. What do you think that you can do to change that outcome?
Well, I mean, first, like, work on like myself, you know, and being the person that would attract the kind of man that I would want.
And so what would you do first?
I mean, maybe I could stop being such a hard ass. But at the same time, like, I am a hard ass because I feel like I have to be, because I have to protect myself. I have to protect my kids. So I'm looking for the man that can see through that, and underneath all of that can see that I'm still a woman who can nurture, who will let you take the lead, but you need to prove to me. And I see where you're going.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to defend your children. That's the reason
well,
why you have to prove,
absolutely.
they have to prove themselves. You're not just dating you, you're dating your children too.
Yeah.
So you're not going to bring some Joe Schmo to the house and watch the children be in danger.
Right. Yeah.
You have more to lose.
Yes.
And
I get all that, but once again, we have to look at the reality of the situation, which is a man who could do those things for you, right? Have the capability, finance, resources to do it for you, right? One, would he look your way first to even begin with?
Maybe
right?
not.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
And then 2, would he be patient enough to deal with those things?
Maybe not. And
So let's start from the beginning then,
Yeah.
right? Let's start from the beginning. How would you get a man like this to notice you to begin with?
do I have to wear a dress?
It would help, yes.
Do I have to wear makeup?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, and like I get, I mean, like that, I guess that goes down to like very basic, like if you show up looking like shit, like you're probably not.
Well,
you know?
especially when we've determined already, when we've said that most men are visual, right? The first, and one of our primary values that we're looking for is your guys' fitness, which is beauty,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Attractiveness, right?
Right. Which, again, like I think that for me, like I know just this, last year that I've had, like I know that I've definitely let a lot of like that self-care kind of stuff slide.
Yeah.
Because being a mom with 3 kids, without having that support of that other parent, like sometimes those things just have to take the back burner. And that's just the way it is.
So could you change something in your lifestyle to
could.
get that outcome better?
Sure.
Okay, so now you've changed that aspect, right? You've made the necessary changes to improve your fitness, dress nicer, makeup, self-care, right? Lose weight, right? Do your hair the right way, right? You've done those things. You've attracted this man that's potentially a higher value man that would be committed to you. Now that your foot's in the door, do you think that attitude would get you the job?
No. Yeah. Well, no. I mean, like I know I have an attitude.
Well, we've already touched on why you have the attitude. Understandably so. Not hating on why you have the attitude. But the reality is it's there, right?
Yeah.
So the man, now that you've passed this first hurdle of becoming physically attractive enough to attract him, right? Would he want to deal with this lack of femininity value that is the second value that he's looking for.
I don't know. But also, I feel like if I could trust that he was bringing in all the like masculine values, I could be the feminine one in the relationship.
Do you think a masculine man wants to be overly masculine?
It doesn't have to be overly masculine, but if I can see like, okay, you're bringing the resources, you're bringing the physicality, you're bringing da, 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 da.
Okay, so you expect that from him, right? You expect those traits from him off rip, right? What if he showed up to you and he was like, hey, how, I talk like this, and hey babe, would you like me to take you out one of these days? What if he was like that? But as soon as
She's probably not his type.
but as soon as you gave him a chance, then he'd be like, hey babe, what's going on?
Whoa, that would never come off the bat right there,
So my point is then, once again, why does the man have to be masculine at all times? Provide the resources at all times.
Well, he doesn't. Well, okay, he does. However, I mean, like, I guess we were talking about like me, like stepping away from like this masculine attitude that I have. If I was like right now, I have it because I'm both,
Yeah.
But if I had a partner who could take that burden from me,
But
I can allow myself to let that down.
I know, but it's a chicken before the egg conversation, because the problem is, to get that man, you need to be feminine to begin
All
with,
that.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
right? He's not gonna understand why you're more masculine. He doesn't care. He's saying, hey, I brought $2 million to this table. I want your Ferrari. I'm paying for your Ferrari, right? Why does my Ferrari have scratches on it?
Well, if you're paying for my Ferrari, then I will be feminine.
Why do I have to buy the Ferrari first? Why do I have to buy the Ferrari first to go get the scratches removed? Why do I have to buy the Ferrari first, then take my car to detail to have it buffed out? I'm here with my damn fucking money. I want my fucking Ferrari. You wouldn't be like coming to him and be like, hey, I got this Ferrari, right? But I'll take your $2 million later. You can have me on layaway. You're not going to say that.
Yeah.
You're not going to say make payments on this Ferrari, right? So why can't I have what we agreed upon right off the bat?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Okay, honey, I think the
Yeah.
time is sorry.
Save your answer for
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This is a good conversation. Hey, guys, it's late. We got to get going. Hey, but if you guys like this podcast, guys, this was really good conversation. Love the guests on the show. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for contributing and giving our viewers out there more advice and obviously more experience to hopefully get better outcomes, guys. Because that's what we're here for, giving our Asian brothers and sisters better outcome, guys. Smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share it, guys. This needs to be pushed out to all the Asian community out there, so that way we can have this conversation, talk about these topics that we have ignored for so long in our community. But hey, guys, thank you so much. Check you guys on the next one.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.